I don't know, Michi, if you were awake when I made my live earlier. I don't know, Reverend Will Martin, if you were awake when I made my live earlier. The Dr. Mark Lamont Hill. I don't know if you were alive. Ghetto, I care less about you. Um, but Michi, the reason why I wanted to come live one more time is because your name got called when you didn't do anything to me, Michi. See, it's important that I say that. It's important that I say that, Michi. You've never done anything to me at all. Your name got called because your cousin Alan does the most egregious things to people and then stands in the pulpit and acts like everything is okay. And he really wants people to go along with his nonsense. It's called abuse of power. See, we already had kings in the Bible that done stuff like that. And see, Alan, the problem is that you want to abuse your power, and then everybody ain't gotta go along with you because you got a few dollars in your pocket. So what? See, the yes people are over there. And I'm the only no person. That's why I ain't in your church. Because I'm a no person. Because I ain't going to go along with your nonsense. See, pay attention. I think I'd rather be put out, an outcast, than go along with somebody that abuses their power and then talks about God. No, God don't tell you to do the stuff that you do. I probably won't get a lot of people in the chat for this, but it's okay. God does not tell you to abuse your power the way that you do. See, because if it was you, if the roles were reversed and I were doing it to you, telling you that you had to sleep with me to get a position, you'd be mad. So then, why do you think that that's okay? See, you and I have never done that in the whole 20 plus years. We've never had no type of sexual contact. So we could stand in front of a judge right now. We could. We could stand in front of a judge right now because I've never had sex with you, but you've done it to other people. And lots of people, and you've hurt a lot of people, and you don't see. The thing is you never care. See, you took Dr. Mark Lamont Hill from the job that he had, and what happened? Didn't he lose his job? Right, and who still works there? Ellen still works there. See, that's a smear. Why would you want to mess with somebody that works at your wife's job? You have no decor. Listen, that lady ain't my best friend. Ellen don't like me. But she doesn't have to like me for me to respect her. And when I say that, I mean that. Some things you should not do because no, you should not. See, listen, I laugh, joking. I call your wife lipstick lesbian. Even that's wrong, for real, for real. Because her name is Ellen. It's not the names that I call her. Yeah, that's wrong too. See, I'm gonna call myself out too. I ain't gonna just call you out. She can like women, okay. She's saying gender loving is the appropriate term, but it's always wrong to mess with somebody that's at your wife's job. She still works there. He don't. She still works there. He don't. He has went from being a college professor to a coffee shop owner. What the hell? What in the what? So I don't curse. What in the what is that? Had you would have left the man alone where he was, he would have still had his college job, but not you. You had to mess with somebody that was at your wife's job, and he did what? Got fired. See, right. You don't listen. Let me explain it to you because you seem not to understand how this goes. When you don't want people anymore, you throw them away like they're trash. Unfortunately, he didn't know that. See, unfortunately, he lost his college job to now have a coffee shop. I don't know how much college professors make, maybe 80, 90,000. They make a grip. But he went from having, right, see, those are the type of things that you do. You do. And I know that you do because I've known several people who you've done it to. See, and all up until now, I've remained quiet. And I don't really have to. You're not doing anything for me. Not great for me. Pay attention to how I said that. See, then that would mean that let me put it in proper perspective for you because you seem to be a little bit confused as to who I am, who Ellen is. Let me put it in perspective for you. See, Ellen is the lady that you're married, but Ellen is also the lady that tells you, encourages you to steal my ideas so that she can live a good life, but not tell you to financially compensate me. See, the thought never crossed your mind to financially compensate me. The little favors that you do not equate to me having my own place to live when you live out there in beautiful main line. I don't have to live out on the main line to be happy. For real, I don't. Because I could live right here in Philadelphia and be happy. It's just that you do all your dirt in Philadelphia and then you go run to the main line. See the difference? Dr. Mark Lamont Hill lost his job at where he lost it at because of you. See, and now he has a coffee shop. See what he's been reduced to? See, somebody could say, Catherine, it's just you. No, 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 it's not just me. Dr. Mark Lamont Hill lost his job over there where your wife works. That's not a coincidence that she's still there and he's not. Gee, I wonder why. Let's play connect the dots. Right. See, that's the type of stuff that you do. Cause people to lose their jobs, right? When you get finished with them. Because how it works with you is when you get finished with Man in the Choir, you better be listening. When Alan gets finished with you, he's going to toss you out like trash like he does everybody else. I don't know. See, I've been knowing him long enough to know how he operates. See, he's not able to do that with me because I know too much about Alan. And all the stuff that he knows about me is not on that level. Alan has the type of power that he abuses it. He does. On another level, he abuses his power. He's not like you and me. Right. So then, Man in the Choir, you better be listening. When he get finished with you, you're going to be tossed out like garbage like everybody else that he's done tossed out like garbage. Or moved around so that they're not at his church. You know how Deacon Eugene Royal suddenly moved away from your church after he took my book. Ain't that? Now, see, let me tell that story so that people will know that I ain't lying. The two people that gave my book to Pastor Wilder was you, Deacon Eugene Royal and Reverend James I. Jackson. Well, Reverend James I. Jackson is deceased now. He sure is. And Deacon Eugene Royal used to live out there, in the international city here in Philadelphia. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. But he moved to Delaware. Him and his minister wife, they moved to Delaware. Sure did. See how Alan moves people around right when he doesn't want to get caught. It didn't change the fact that you stole my stuff, so then pay attention to what his wife did. That was the first time. His wife, Dr. Ellen Jo Waller. Dr. Ellen. Ellen Jo Payne Waller. See, this is what she did. She told Alan to let me come back. See, because he don't do nothing unless Ellen say so. Except for run with men, but that's not what I'm talking about. He did what? Let me come back so he could steal the rest of my books. So Aaron Rice, that's how the rest of my books got stolen. Alan had some crackhead named Aaron Rice to pretend to date me and steal my books. He came right in my apartment. See how right? So see, Alan, I'm giving you back what you gave me. The only difference is I didn't send Dr. Mark Lamont Hill to you. You actually set that up with Aaron. Right. So I'm giving you back what you gave me. Aaron stole all my books out of my apartment. Now say that he didn't. 3144 West Gordon Street, Philadelphia, PA 19132 over there, right near the park. Didn't he steal all my books out and gave them to you? You hired a crackhead to do your job. Right. Because see, you couldn't come do it yourself. So you hired Aaron because you know he was strung out. You took advantage of Aaron because you know he's strung out. Those are the type of people that you have around you. See, because those type of people make you feel better about yourself. Because when you're actually amongst your peers, you feel less than. So what you do? You go get Aaron to get all my books and all the stuff that you've been operating on, you've been writing about, has been whose stuff? Mine. Right. See, here's the whole thing. You can't crush me. Let me explain it to you. E9 North was my idea. Do you want me to post it up on my wall? E9 North. What do you know about North Philadelphia that you should write about it? You don't even want to come to North Philly. You think North Philly is beneath you when you're not even from Philadelphia. That's an insult. You don't know anything about North Philly for you to look down on it. Because when you look down on North Philly, you're looking down on me because that's where I'm from. That'll be like me looking down on you because you come from Ohio. I've never looked down on you because you come from another state. But see, listen to how it is. Philadelphia is Philadelphia, whether it's north, south, east, or west, West Oak Lane, Mount Airy, Germantown, Chestnut Hill. It's still Philadelphia. You are so far removed that you really, in your delusional mind of thinking, think that you're better than the people that you pastor because you're up there and your church is on Cheltenham Avenue. Your other church is over there, Allen Wallaway, over there. But you don't live in Philadelphia. Why don't you live? Right. You and I both know why you don't live here. You and I both know why you don't live here. What did I tell you about them county folks? I told you you walk freely up there and be gay, but you can't do it here in Philadelphia. You know that I know that. You can walk freely up there and be gay. You cannot do that down here in Philadelphia. You know I know that. Because I've been out there and I see how they operate. You could never do that here. You couldn't because you're out. You couldn't. So let's not play those games and let's not do that with your rainbow marriage. And I don't care about your purple marriage that you got. And you know exactly what I mean by purple. Purple, rainbow, yellow, whatever. It's rainbow. She likes women, you like men. I don't care. What I cared about was I really wanted to make amends with you and just it could have been it didn't have to be me exposing you. How hard was it to just give me my house? Appliance, I didn't ask you for much. I didn't ask you for no $1,000,000. You're a liar. If you would say that. That letter didn't have a financial, it didn't have a number on it. I said a house. But you were so selfish, so greedy that you would rather the people around you who you have sexual affairs with be exposed than you spend money. Now people who didn't know some of their peers were same gender loving, now they know. Why do they know? Because I expose you and them at the same time. Reverend Martin, Michi, G. Lamar Stewart, Mark Lamont Hill, and the list goes on. You know, how you do it, Pastor Weiler? Wasn't that you that was asking for male students every summer to be sent to you from a certain college over there in New Jersey? Right. So that you could pray. Right. See? Right. That's you. Some preachers, as Bullwinkle said. Right. See, let me term you out. Let me term you out so folks can understand. See, you can't be no preacher of God and work for the devil at the same time. You got to make a choice and figure out which one you want to be. You can't be a preacher of God and do Satan's work at the same time. You can't be a preacher of God and do Satan's work. See, how can you tell a college to send you a student and a male student and you got a wife? Can't be a preacher of God and ask for a male student. You don't need a male student. You have Ellen. See, yeah, she ain't my best friend, so what? It don't matter. You have a female. Her name is Ellen. See, and she has female parts. So working on out. Stop doing ungodly stuff. If you're going to do ungodly stuff, then please stop preaching. I said it and I meant it. You cannot be a preacher of God and work for the devil at the same time. Which one of them sign your paychecks? Is it God that sign your paychecks or do the devil sign your paychecks? Because you preach about God, but it look like Satan sign your checks. Because the stuff that I know that you do, asking for a male student from a certain university, see, don't make me drop your tea up in here. See, because I know some tea about you that some folks been knowing you 20 years don't know about you, Alan. We ain't. See, that's why when people be talking about I don't know you, I just shut up. Because I know enough about you that people will run out your church. See, I'm not attracted to women. I'm attracted to men. And that's why when I'm in the gym, I'm looking at the what? Men. I am not ashamed to say that. That's the way God created me. You're the one going against the natural order of God by looking at men. When you got a wife, you got a wife. Go to marriage counseling, and work it out. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You're already married. That's not our story. There is no romance between me and you. There's fighting between me and you, though. I ain't going, I think we fight better. See, the type of fighting that we do, though, is over, church stuff. It's no romance. If we had to stand in front of a judge right now, I would have to tell the judge the truth. See, judge, this is what had happened. See, what had happened was I had walked in this man's church. And the first time I walked in there, story time with Catherine, this is real quick. First time I walked in there, he was looking for people to be a bone marrow donor for his drama. That was the first time I walked in there. And then the next time I see, and he was standing staring at me, and I wasn't really paying this man no mind. I ain't halfway paying him mind the whole time I've known. Why I ain't paying him mind? Because he gives clown and clown behavior. Why does he give clown and clown behavior? Because with no man that got that much money act like a clown. You do with the stuff you do. You put yourself out there. Who puts their lovers on their payroll? Clown and clown behavior. Who puts their lovers on their church's payroll? Clown with clown behavior. The stuff you do don't make sense. Don't look at me like I'm cuckoo. You do that stuff. I don't sign nobody's paychecks. You do that stupid stuff. And then when it comes back to bite you in the butt, you want everybody to clean up your mess. Stop doing stupid stuff. I didn't say that you shouldn't mess with men, women. I said stop doing stupid stuff that points you out because you can't clean that up. Anybody who you mess with, don't put them on the church's payroll. That's you doing that stupid stuff. That's not me. I'm not in a position of authority. And then you always run to Ellen to clean. No, you can't hide behind Ellen for everything. You just got to hide behind Ellen with the stuff that happened at her job. But everything else, you be messing that stuff up. She has her own battles, issues, whatever. But you be tearing that stuff up. That don't be Ellen. That be you using your authority. No. God allowed you to rise to the top, but he ain't allowed you to rise to the top so that you can abuse your authority in the way that you do. You have crushed people. I mean, I'm a peon compared to some of the other people that you've crushed. You've really hurt people over the 30 plus years that you've been here. And it looks like you've helped people, but no, 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 no. You helped who you wanted and you manipulated people. You slept, you've done a lot. And you're not ever sorry for it because you just did something horrible to me back in May. And you want me to be silent about it, and I don't have to be, especially about that situation with Mark Lamont Hill. I don't have to be. I done been up in this. First of all, you could never be silent with me about that situation with Mark Lamont Hill because I live here in Philadelphia, and I know where his coffee shop at. I don't go up there, but of course I know where it's at. I ain't telling nobody where it's at. It's here in Philadelphia. Isn't it kind of funny that it's like not too far from your church? You know, E9 West. See, because you be out to make me a liar. And his coffee shop is walking distance to E9 West. See, you like to keep your men close. See, whenever you keep on playing me, listen, hold on. All right, y'all. I didn't lead a live. I had to go do something. So the way this works is, I would have easily, Alan, please, Dr. Waller, Pastor Waller, please listen. I came at you really humbly when I came into your church. I didn't outright try to expose you, but you look at how you did me. You had me thrown out of your church like trash. See, the average person wouldn't have given you 10 years. I don't know anybody that would have given you 10 whole years. And in those 10 whole years, how many times did you have me thrown out of places and told me to start over, start over, start over, start over, start over? Right. But all the while, Alan, you were traveling to Jamaica while I was suffering. Isn't that how that story went? That's how that story went. See, all the while, you were going places, getting on planes and jets with Ellen, going places. Some of them times I was homeless. Some of them times you didn't care. So, but see, now you want me to care about you and your person and your, why didn't I come to your church in May? And when I came down the aisle, I don't recall trying to holler at you, scream at you, or be nasty to you. Didn't you stand up and look at me, see me coming and turn your back? The nerve of you to turn your back after all. You have achieved some of the greatest success because of me. Not Ellen, not Lady Ellen, not none of them other women. Catherine Sherelle Powell. You know the person you don't ever give homage to? See, you ain't walking in none of those places that you walking in. With Ellen, did Ellen write any of them ideas? Because you know I could, see, let me put one out there for you. Blended Family Ministry, that is my idea that I wrote back in when I was 20, and I'm 52 now. See, I remember it like it was yesterday. I can tell you why I wrote it. I wrote that idea because my oldest son's father was a divorced man. And I wrote that idea so that if he ever got married again, I didn't say he was going to get married to me. I said if he ever got married again, he would be able to blend his family. It was a lot of ideas in those books, and all of the ideas that you've had from 2008 to now have been mine. Not one. Oh, it's my fault, Ellen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I ain't taking advantage of you. Ellen's ideas have been she's my sister and human trafficking. Those are Ellen's ideas, but all the other stuff, all of the stuff have been mine. So when I tried to really talk to you, you just kept on playing. No, I wasn't never playing. See, because when I walked in your church, I didn't walk in your church unruly. Even when Deacon Sherrod threw me out like a piece of trash, I didn't cuss that man out. And ask him when I seen him a couple weeks ago. I did not cuss that man out when I saw him. No, I didn't. I just spoke. Because they do what you tell them to do. So there's no need for me to cuss out Deacon Cannon, Deacon Sherrod, or none of them other deacons, because they do what you tell them to do. They don't have rule in their church like other deacons do. Not in their church. You be telling them what to do, and then when it goes down, how they get together and did what. See, listen, if it was that you and I had a falling out, it would have been real simple. You're the one that made it complicated. Over the last 10 years, Alan, how many times have I wrote you? You do have my laptop, don't you? Now tell folks that. See, because you got it. You have both of my laptops. You have my working laptop, my Chromebook. And why you have my working Chromebook? Because didn't I go somewhere and the guard at the hospital said, why do you have a laptop? And I trusted you with mine. No, I wouldn't ask you for a background. I don't have to do that. It doesn't matter. See, you and I are not the same. When somebody warns me, I take a heed to what they say because what they're saying could be life-saving. Right. See, when people warn you, on the other hand, you don't take heed to what they're saying. And oftentimes you don't. See, somebody will actually let how many cars you got? Do I catch the bus? Right, you ain't never gave me a ride when I was hungry and came to your church. You want me to really break down the story for the last time? Because you know I could tell it. And I ain't telling it for any other reason but the fact that of why you're getting dragged and embarrassed about the facts of your life. Because you've done it to more than just me. It's not a solo. It ain't a duet. It could be a whole lot of people. I could just be the only one talking about it. Dr. Lamar Hill, he ain't going to talk about it. Because he probably don't want nobody to know. But it's too late, I know. because it happened, what, I don't know how many years ago it happened. I just know his coffee shop is not too far from your church. That is not a coincidence. I can walk from his coffee shop to E9 West. I can. I can. And I'm really saying that for a reason. Resto, if you're going to come in my chat, let me explain to you what occurs over here in this chat so that you don't get blocked, banned, so that you don't get blocked and banned. So what happens in this chat, in my chat, is I talk about my real life. So if you're offended by my real life, then don't come over here. Because I don't need to do beef sector content. I have my own beefs with people in real life. I don't need to listen, the beef sector is wonderful. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I have had an ongoing beef with somebody for 10 years. It is not even a secret. Most of the pastors that are here in Philadelphia, they know about my beef with my former pastor. It's not a secret. So see, I don't have to get online and look at other people's beef. I could talk about my own. See, pay attention to what I said. I can talk about my own beef. Unfortunately, my former pastor, he would not like that, but we can't always like what people say. If somebody tries to come and make amends with you and then you do what he just did, which was in May, he acted real goofy in May after I showed up. And then look at the grace that I gave you. Even when you were having different people like Miss Cruiser and St. James, I still didn't say anything about your sexual affairs with men. I just let them talk. Why did I let them talk? Because I already knew where that was going to go. See, they were all running to defend you and not knowing that your marriage wasn't never real. That's a paper. It's not real. How can it be real and you are constantly seeking? Listen, I don't really care about none of that. I don't. See, I cared about your interaction with me. And your interaction with me was you didn't want to pay me. So you kept on playing games. And that is why we are right here, right now. You didn't want to pay me. See, you wanted to pay everybody else, people who your priorities were jacked up. And I kept telling you that. See, I don't have to keep telling you the same thing for 10 more years. I gave you the chance and opportunity. I came to your church. I walked in the door. You knew I was homeless. You did know that. You did. See, sometimes it would have been easier. See, you know how the story in the Bible goes where the man had the leprosy and then he wanted to get healed and the man said, just go and dip 7 times. And he said, well, oh, is it that simple? Right. This was just that simple. I walked right in your church and tried to make amends, and you stood right up and you turned your back. That wasn't me. That's how arrogant, egotistical, and narcissistic you are. That somebody will come apologize to you after what you did to them. Isn't that how it happened? Or did you cut the cameras off so they didn't see it? Oh, you want me to tell them what happened? I came walking down the aisle. When you saw me, you turned your back. Right. And then you continued on. Isn't that you that called over to that hospital? You called over there numerous times. That was you that did that. Telling folks that I wasn't really ill. Telling folks that I wasn't really ill when I have what? What do I have? Major illnesses, some of them. Arthritis of the back is crippling. Whether it's of the back, the knees, whatever. See, you don't know how to be a Christian. You talk about it, but you don't really know how. See, you have book knowledge of God, not no real knowledge of God. Not the stuff you've done to me. I can't speak for... See, the fact that you could go home and one night you knew that I had to stay at the train station and you could go home and rest peacefully shows that you don't know God. Because with no real man, God be in front of his member knowing that his member is homeless, hungry, and you could just, oh, me and my, right, because you don't know God. Not no real man of God know that his member get ready to sleep outside and anything could happen and you didn't care. We ain't talking about no bear attack. Me. We talking about humans could have attacked me up there at Green Lane train station. You didn't care, but now you want me to care about your reputation? Sorry, I ain't got it in me. It doesn't matter what little favors you did. When it was really time for me to get another a place of my own to live, you constantly suppress me. You want me to list all the addresses for you? You want me to go over all the addresses one more time? Let me see if I can start off with the church that I live right around the corner from West in 2016, didn't I? In a room that didn't have a kitchen. Remember? That was one. Okay. That was one. 2 would have been Southwest. You want me to name the address for you and name the young man who you was going with? You want me to? See, I be trying to. Because that house that I lived in, who wasn't that your boyfriend's house that I lived in? Don't make me tell all the rest of the story. See, because Ellen about to get embarrassed triple time because she don't know half of the she thinks she knows, but she don't know. That house whose house was that I lived in out there? Wasn't that your boyfriend's house that I lived in? Right. So see, let's stop the shenanigans before you get triple time embarrassed. Triple time embarrassed. Cause had you not would have been playing with me, this would have been over 10 years ago. But see, you like to play games with people and then sit back and laugh at them. Russell, you get ready to get blocked out my chat. Now, you type one thing. Go, Russell, I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you a little grace. My go back and look at my and Russell, since you're so interested, you think I need help? Cash at me. My cash app is $ Catherine Powell 6803. If you need financial help, Russell, not no mental help. Because why do I have to be around him struggling? Alan, you are one of the wealthiest men ever. And you are the most sadistic, meanest men ever. That's not a God character. You think it is everybody always got to stroke your ego. You are mean. And haven't you been mean to me? Oh, so you don't think me standing up in front of you homeless and hungry, that wasn't good enough for you? It wasn't. Because actually what happened was that night that you had that concert over there with that lady, El Shaddai, didn't you call over to the hospital and told them to put homeless on my paperwork? You want me to put my paperwork up there so everybody can see that? Because you did do that. Homeless is not a diagnosis of illness. That's what you did. See, I'm gonna let people, no more feelings, just facts. No more feelings, just facts. You called over to Methodist Hospital, and you told them, Alan E. Waller, told them that don't see me because I'm homeless. But see, if I was to turn this around and told people don't let you come and preach because you a hypocrite, see, then you'd be mad. But I'm just going to drop some facts today. No feelings, just facts. I'm going to drop some facts about my own tea, and I'm going to let people make their own examination over the last 10 years of the sadistic stuff that you've done to me. Right. Didn't you have them people over here at that nursing home acting like they wanted to beat me up? Was that you or your wife? Over there at Karen Hart, didn't you have those people at that nursing home acting like they wanted to swing on me because I told them I couldn't have certain things? I'm home right. I cannot have certain things. That's not a faux pas, that's real. I don't eat lunch meat sandwiches. I don't. And I shouldn't eat a whole can of chips. But when I'm stressed out, I do. I bet you today I don't. No, I don't. So see, you want my information only so that you can make fun of it. Some people at the nursing home was acting like they was gonna beat me up. You really thought that was funny. When is it funny for a professional to laugh at somebody that can't eat something? That's not the first time you did it. See, you did it over at Cliveden too. Shall I say more? Isn't that how I fell? How did I fall, Alan? What happened? I had my knee operated on. Didn't you tell that doctor to stop giving me my pain medication? And what happened? I fell, right? And when I fell, what happened to my knee? Did my knee get messed up? Didn't my knee get messed up? Didn't the doctor that do the surgery have to go back and press my knee down so it could bend properly? Do you really want me to tell people of the sadistic stuff you've done to me over 10 years? The little favors, but you've done more sadistic stuff. See, that right there is proven. If anybody say, Catherine, it wasn't a fact, it is. I had my knee done in 2022, and not long after I had my knee done, Alan had them to stop giving me my pain medicine. You don't listen. See, you've never had surgery, so you don't know. They don't keep you on opioids for long periods of time. You had them to pull me off of it before my body could get healed, and that's why I fell. Right. So the next time you stand up and you lie about the fact that you don't, why would a doctor pull pain medicine a week or two after? That's not how that works. They have to keep giving you the pain medicine until your body is ready to be eased off of it. No, you had him yank me off of it. And then I stand up there and fall in front of all those people when then they come and I was on the ground. Right. So make sure when you're going to tell somebody about me, make sure you mention that fact. I fell. Right, I fell. And what happened to me when I fell? My knee started not to be able to bend properly. See, it's the reason why I'm telling the story over because you've been telling people that you don't know me, and I find it strange that a doctor at a nursing home would just pull pain medication. I ain't strung out on no drugs in my 52 years. I've never been strung out on drugs ever, lifetime. But see, here's the whole thing. You like to hold stuff over people's head. Remember that lady? Remember that lady at the church? How you got her? How you set her up? You got her in trouble so you could be on top of her probation. I'm not anybody that would do that to me. See, before I let anybody get me on trouble, I'll spill all they tea. I don't play them type games. I came in your church and served God after you burned the hell out of me. You should have appreciated that, but not you. Not you. You had to be arrogant and cocky. You were more than arrogant and cocky, actually. If we were to really tell the truth, you were more than arrogant and cocky. A normal person would have said, wait a minute, she came back and served God. Let me help her. Not you. You let Ellen tell you. Ellen shouldn't have been able to tell you anything. My actions proved it. See, my actions keep proving that I want to make peace with you, and Ellen gets you in trouble. You're not seeing that? Here we are again. And once again, it's been Ellen. So this time, since you let Ellen tell you what to do, let Ellen tell you what my next actions are. Ellen can't tell you about me. She don't know me. And for the last, how many years have I been telling you that? Nothing she says means anything to me at all. She's your wife. She's not my friend. She's not anything to me. When I see her, I just see her. That's it. That's all. But you are always doing your dirt and then running behind your wife like a coward. Right. See, your wife still works at the college. Dr. Mark Lamont Hill does not. See, do your dirt and then hide behind your wife. And a man lost his whole job. Good, right. See, the little bit that you could do for somebody. Because you always want people under you. That means you have an insecurity. I don't have an insecurity. Why do people have to be under you for you to be? No. You have Napoleon syndrome or something. I don't know what it is. I don't exactly know what it is. I don't. But what I do know is for the 10 years that I've tried to make amends with you, you've done the most egregious things to me. And then with the most egregious things that you've done, well, how many more times do you want me to beg you to stop the nonsense? How many more times? See, you want things to be on your terms because you got a few dollars in your pocket. And I've been telling you for 10 years that they're not. Do that dumb stuff with Lady Ellen in the minute you run. You will never do that with me. See, because before I let you do that with me, I will destroy your reputation. You won't never do that with me. How you did that with that lady, went in court and you wanted to be on top of her probation. No, she should have just dropped the T. I don't, what? I don't care if you knew I smoke coke, whatever. I'd have told the judge, yeah, I did it and. No, but see, you like to have stuff on people. But see, now somebody got stuff on you. You want to have stuff on people so that you can control them. I'm not a puppet. There's no strings attached to my arms. Which means that if you keep playing, right, it ain't no strings attached to my arms. This ain't dance, bands to make you dance. This is more like my man, my man, my man. That should be your theme. My man, my man. Tell the man in the choir. That's his new theme song. My man, my man. Alan's not your man. He's everybody's man. Community pain. No control. You need to learn how to think with your big head and not your little head. It always seems to get you in trouble. We're not the same. You were so perplexed at trying to impress him when I came the first Sunday in June. You couldn't even think beyond you having sex with him to think about what you needed to say to me. I don't care who you have sex with. I didn't come there for that. What did I come there for? To talk to you, and you weren't man enough to talk. So what you do, you threw me out. See, and I still waited. I still gave you chance after chance. You still acted stupid. See, you couldn't really do it in the hospital, so you did it in a nursing home. Some people acted like they wanted to attack me for no reason. When do a bunch of professionals act like they want to put their hands on somebody? Right. And what you'll do is I'll file a complaint with the state, and then you'll make it seem like, no. You're allowed to do that, but God saw you. That's not the first time that you've done that. You had the same thing done when I was over at Cliveden. That lady over there acted like she wanted to attack me, and I ain't did nothing to her, but been sick. I'm sorry that me being sick affects you. You ain't the hell taking care of me, so how is me being sick affecting you? I can deal better with my illness than I can with your stupid stuff. You sound goofy. You got people at a nursing home who's supposed to be paid to take care of me walking in there and upset because they got to give me medicine. Yeah. See, when I was at Penn Medicine, The nurses was not upset that they had to take care of me. That's their job. But then I got to the nursing home. The nursing home. The nurses acted like they want to fight. See, you were pumping them up. See, because that's what you wanted to do. Because that's not the first time that happened to me. That's not no keeper Karen. No, it's not. It happened at Cliveden. And then the same thing happened at Karen Hart. The nurses acted like they wanted to fight. They were acting all crazy, trying to, right. See, that's because that's how you act. You perpetuate nonsense. And then, right. You always want to make everybody around you look like they're less than, their life is not, or that's not the way it works. You're always telling people she suffered from anxiety. She suffered from, right. But see, even with all the suffering that I do, I try to keep my life in order. When I came and served at your church, if you thought I was so cuckoo, why you let me fold the napkins? But ain't that's what I did? Folded some napkins and put some tablecloths on the table. I mean, I did other stuff too, I did. But if you thought I was so cuckoo crazy, why you let me fold the napkins and put the right? See, I'm only cuckoo crazy when I'm away from you. Right. Anybody that can't see that, they don't see what's going on here. See, you're used to women chasing you, and I don't really chase you. I ask you for what I want. When you act stupid, I just drag you, as I should. Because don't none of them women up at that church. See, pay attention. I hope they're all listening. Don't none of them women up at that church, cute, pretty, ugly, or in between, equals who? Want me to say it for you real loud? Let me say it for you real loud. See, we got one person around here that's smart, and that would be me. See, and then all the other women's that you got, they are what? Let me put it in insurance terms. Liability. She only got one asset, and that's me. I'm the only one that can write ideas. That's me. Now I ain't come to your church and boast, brag. No, I didn't. You like to keep me beneath you because it makes you feel good. Most men like smart women. You don't. You like empty-headed chicks. You thrive on them. See, because they make you feel good because your self-esteem is low. Most men want a woman that knows how to get that paper. That's not you. You like women that spend money, not make money. I can't introduce you to any of my... I cannot. None of the men I know would want to be attached to you because you are attracted to empty-headed chicks. Lady Ellen is one. Woman, she's the biggest one. You like women that want to spend your money, not make money, so that you can feel good. See, most men don't want that in 2026. They want to wait. They want to wait to have multiple streams, and that's not you. You get intimidated by women that's smart. That's why you keep somebody like Lady Ellen around you, because it makes you feel good to pay her bills and do things. For you don't really want women that know how to make money, and if you do know them, they're not somebody that you're interested in, because you feel inferior when most men that I know are glad to have a woman that knows how to make money. That's not you. That's why you and I have never gotten along, because I definitely know how to make money. My son's father had a church that I put together. He didn't put it together. So I definitely know how to make money. You just want to keep... No. See, you want me to work for free and you give me what you want to give me. No, do you do that to Ellen? Or does Ellen have an everyday job and you still take care of her? Right? See, I ain't going to let you do for me less when everything that you have, you've gotten because of me. In 2008, your church was 11,000 members. How many people is it now? It ain't at no 11,000. Right. So see, I boosted you up. You didn't boost me up. See, you might have already had some things, but your church wasn't as big as it is now. See, and to prove that, the third location was my idea. I might have to embarrass you and drop that T. I still have a picture of it. See, what's probably going to happen is I'm going to kick you out my idea because you're goofy. You don't, you're goofy. I gave you an actual chance to make amends. And instead of you making amends, you try to step all over me once again. That ain't never going to happen. See, E9 North was my idea, it wasn't yours. You want me to prove it? You don't know nothing about Brewery Town, North Philly, or Strawberry Mansion. So why would you be writing about E9 North? Isn't that my idea? Ask Reverend Miles. It wasn't yours. You're always trying to make it seem like you're something that you're not. You can't even go along with when I came in here and just chilled. You couldn't. Why does my presence intimidate you? And you're using my stuff. That's a slap in the face that my presence intimidates you when you're using my stuff. I'm not using yours. You're riding around in cars and I'm getting on buses. Are you okay? You actually are getting in multiple cars and I'm catching a bus. Not one. I don't recall coming in there vulgar at you. It was because you got nasty, like you always do. Baby, you won't never get nasty with me like that again. I don't care if I got to name every name. Run your mouth to me again like you did. See, I let you get away with that in June because I wasn't physically strong enough to fight you. I was going to have surgery, so I couldn't really fight you like that. I couldn't. And you weren't even man enough to come and see me in the hospital. See, the person that made sure that you got well, you wasn't even man enough to send a card. Right. See, tell the folks the truth. Nobody from Iman can, right. No, they didn't. Because of you, Alan. See, you want me to be quiet. When if you really wanted me to be quiet, you should have just came to visit me. You didn't do that. You tried to act like you didn't know me and told people that I'm sick in my head until I started calling some names. I got more to call, but I ain't calling them right now. Right. You in the rainbow over there. Hanging out in the neighborhood in Philadelphia. See, I walk through the neighborhood. You hang out in there. Right. Do you want me to embarrass you? See, I ain't want to have what was the lie you told? See, you want me to tell you the real reason why you wanted to have Bible study downtown? Bible study wasn't about the people that work down there. It was about the men that work down there, about the men that are in the neighborhood. Because what is Center City on the other side of Broad Street? It is the neighborhood. I live here, I know. Because otherwise, why would you? What is on those streets down there? Rainbow signs. You want me to take a picture and post it? See, I live here. I think I'll do that later. I'll go take a picture in the neighborhood and post it so people can see that I'm not lying. Where your Bible study was in conjunction to the neighborhood in that area. And I ain't gonna talk about the pastor because it's not about him. See, he didn't say he was going to teach Bible study but was having sex with somebody else. While Pastor Carpenter was teaching about God, Pastor Wilder was getting his needs met. Right. That's you that can't control yourself. But then when it comes down to me, you're always trying to mix in. No, 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 no. I have no problems with not telling people everything about you, Alan. I don't. Over the last, 10 years that we've argued, this is the first time that I have ever addressed the issues that we have had because you keep acting stupid. Why would you send somebody with stolen flowers to me? When I get you gifts for your birthday, do I send stolen cards or do I go to the store and I buy the card? See, that shows me what you think of me when you send somebody with stolen roses. See, you can't be sarcastic because that wasn't funny. I threw them roses in the trash. Right. So see, when you keep doing stupid stuff and act like you ain't got common sense, that's the reason why you on here getting dragged. Didn't that young man give me stolen roses? We know that he didn't have a phone. Why do we know that he didn't have a phone? I mean, we know that he didn't buy them roses because he didn't even have a phone. That's not my story. Listen, I might have not have had it. Listen, pay attention to how the story is because you don't understand. Let me give it to you in an African proverb. Then maybe you'll get it. See, if you feed a man, if you feed a man, they'll come back the next day. But if you teach a man how to fish, he'll learn it forever. Ain't I the one that came in your doors and told you that you could make money forever off your 2 buildings? Ain't I the person that told you to open up a soup kitchen and you laughed at it? You laughed at it. But see, what you don't know is 315 South Broad Street is my vision and it's not. When I say that it is a permanent soup kitchen and I'm not attached to it. So you're seeing something that is real and you don't even believe it. But I don't have to lie to you. 315 South Broad Street was a church. Pastor Bill, he moved. He opened that building up. It had been closed for years. Every Sunday he would serve people food. See, he turned his church into a soup kitchen. The same soup kitchen that you laughed at me. Ain't that something? See, sometimes when I walk in there, I ain't God, I shake my head and ask God why. I do. I don't lie about that. Sometimes I cry about it. Sometimes I just shake my head. But I don't cry about it because I'm sad about it. I cry about it because I seen a Caucasian man do it. But every time I hand it to the black man, he acts stupid. And that would be you. You laughed at something that a Caucasian or Jewish man, has made money off of and skated left right out the door. It's not a lie. 315 South Broad Street, Pastor Bill had a church. And every Sunday he would feed people. He decided to do what? The same thing that I walked in your doors and said, open up a soup kitchen. You laughed at my idea, but this man turned the church into a business and then left the church and went back, closed the church. And it's not 315, it's still there, but it's not Broad Street Ministries anymore. It's Love, right? Why did they take ministry off their name? Because they're not a church and they're not associated. But they were, and the founder is Pastor Bill Golden Air here in Philadelphia. So see, when you laugh at my stuff, please laugh at my stuff and walk through it. I didn't give him that idea, but I certainly had it in my book. My idea was in his book before he even opened it. My idea was in my book about opening up a soup kitchen in 1995. He didn't open up his soup kitchen until 2007. I didn't even know the man, wasn't around him. That's not my point. When you don't do something, pay attention, Alan. Whenever it is that you don't do something, God will find somebody else. Pastor Bill is proof. Whenever God tells you to do something and you don't do it, doesn't matter why you didn't do it, he'll just find somebody else. He found Pastor Bill, and I ain't saying found like that. I'm saying I had that idea in 1995. Pastor Bill didn't open up his stuff till 2007 or 8. Right. So see, whenever you don't do something, God always has somebody else. See, you laughed at my stuff. You said you ain't want no homeless people up in. That's what you said. But what you failed to realize was Pastor Bill opened up the church. It was a closed church building. He was a Presbyterian minister. He opened it up and he did what? He started feeding homeless people. He saw that he could expand. He expanded it from Sunday to Sunday and Thursday. Then he expanded even more. And then the next thing I knew, he was putting an elevator in there. And then the next thing I knew, he was putting a state-of-the-art kitchen in there. And then the next thing I knew, he did what? He hired a chef to feed these people. They didn't eat garbage. See, I can tell you about what Pastor Bill did because I'm right here and I seen it. It's not something somebody told me. When they first opened up their soup kitchen, they had a chef. They didn't eat garbage. Not at all. Not there. What? They didn't eat garbage there. Not at all. So see, I don't know about any, listen, I don't go everywhere, but I can tell you about 315 South Broad Street here in Philadelphia and who started their soup kitchen. It was a Jewish man, a pastor. Had the great idea that I should just feed people. And it turned into what it is right now. And where is Pastor Bill? He's not there anymore. He went back to his church, he did. I'm not going to tell where his church is. But he went back. He's still a Presbyterian minister. But see how a Caucasian man took what I already had and he ran so far so fast. It blew up so far so fast. It did. See, and I was right here in Philadelphia to watch it. Other people are doing it, but they ain't doing it like Pastor Bill. See, and I know that because I've seen it. That building did not have an elevator. It did not have a state of art. All that stuff came with him doing what? Feeding homeless people every single day. He was able to get money to do. See, pay attention, Alan, to what I'm telling you. He was able to get a elevator in there, state of the art kitchen in there, all of that stuff. See, pay attention. I watched him do it. I was there from the very beginning. I'm not brokenhearted that my stuff didn't. I don't have to be. The reason why I don't have to be brokenhearted that I never opened up my own soup kitchen is because God just allowed me to see what could have been, not what you. Different way of looking at it. I'm not brokenhearted because I came to you and other people and y'all didn't want to do it. Not at all. God just let me see what could be through Pastor Bill. Because you won't never do nothing in this lifetime that he tells you to do. And when you don't do it, he ain't going to do it through somebody else. See, that's how he works. When you don't do it, he'll just go get somebody else. Who did he go get? Pastor Bill. Right there at 315 South Broad Street. See, when I came to you with it, it was a laugh. It was a ha-ha. You wanted to support other people's ministry, but you didn't want to do it yourself. God found somebody that would do it themselves that had a church. And then what he did was, pay attention, he closed down the church. He closed down the church. And he took that church back to his other church. And so now all it is a soup kitchen that does social services and they help you get your birth certificate, your photo ID. They do all of that stuff. But I was there from the very, very, very beginning. They give out clothes. They do everything there. Right. That's what I wrote. That is exactly what I wrote. Listen, I'm not mad at you, laughed at it, that you didn't want to work with me, none of that. You and I don't have the same type of faith in God. You say that you have faith in God, but when it comes to actually getting in the trenches, no, you don't. See, you gave your money to Chosen 300 because you believed his story, when actually the person that really had the real story was Pastor Bill. It wasn't Brian, and I'm not speaking against him. I'm telling you a truth because I know it to be true because I know Pastor Bill personally. When I say that, I was right there when he started it. He found out that there were homeless people in his church. He said, let me open up the kitchen, just feed these people. He started out with pasta every Sunday. Then he moved it to Thursday. He just kept expanding and expanding and expanding. His expansion and growth, his expansion and his growth took off for real. I seen it take off. You talking about starting on a Sunday, moving to Thursday. At one time, they were doing 2 to 3 times meals, 2 to 3 times a day. Had people sleeping on the floor. Had social workers. He did all sorts. Go look him up. Pastor Bill Golded Ear. He started Broad Street Ministries because that was a church. Once it got fully running, he shut the church down. He left the ministry there and he went back to what he was doing, which was he was a pastor. Before he came there, hold on, y'all. Pastor before you came there. So that's how that happened. So I wasn't never upset that you didn't want to do what I said that I wanted to do. I was more upset that you used my stuff, you didn't pay me, and then you actually laughed at stuff like there's not people here that are doing what I wrote about. So you just didn't want to do it because you and I don't think the same. And that's cool. I ain't mad at anybody that does not think like I think. Never. Lifetime. I just don't like when people do what you did, which is you you didn't believe. See, pay attention to what you did. It was just so much easier to take my stuff, use it, and throw the person away. That's what you did. I would have never treated you like that, Alan, ever, even right now. See, I have the core about myself. See, you always think the other people are around you more important to impress. You know, Raphael Warnock was coming to your church. You couldn't be bothered with Catherine that weekend because you wanted to impress him. Right. See, you ain't want nobody homeless in your church, and I wouldn't have been in your church because where was I? You still could have called my name. See, but you still want to impress a bunch of people that did not help you get where you are. None of them in that church. It was only ever one person. Wasn't that me? Because it wasn't Ellen. Ellen is living in. Her best idea is go steal Catherine stuff. It ain't, she know how to write nothing. And if you think I'm wrong, I got a book right here with y'all name on it. You want me to send it to you to see if she can write it? Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'm going to give you my book that got y'all name on it. You know, the one that say 2027, the one that I posted up. And I'm going to see if Ellen or anybody else that's up in your church can write some stuff about God like I can. And I ain't laughing, joking, or playing right now. See, you take what I do for granted and say it's not a job, but I don't see anybody in your church writing no ideas about God and making money off of them like you did. That you discredited. If you're such a genius that you say that you are, I got a challenge for you. This is a challenge. See, I'm going to take a book, but I'm going to give you the book that I have to have your name on it, though. See, pay attention to what I'm going to do. It's all decorated and stuff, and I'm going to let everybody see it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the book. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you see if you can write. See, and we're going to challenge, and we're going to see who can write. See, and then what I'm going to do is, see your frat brothers over there, frat people. I don't know what frat y'all is. Alan ain't writing none of that stuff. He stole my stuff. See, because if he can write it once, you can write it again. See, I could write it 10 times over. I said I wrote it. He ain't wrote none of that stuff. He ain't know nothing about no homeless people. The next week when I came to his church, he was doing a homeless outreach. That was in my book. Homeless outreach #1 was in my book. To go down to the parkway and give out toiletries. Go down to the parkway in Philadelphia. What does he know about that? He's not even from here. It's amazing how people will think that you forget that you write stuff. Not at all. Oh, you want me to name another one? That Sunday school women's worship. Who wrote that? Did I not write that for a community Baptist church in Camden and used it over again in Edon? Sure did. So please don't make me call out some of that stuff that was in that book because I will embarrass you up in here. See, I ain't forget what I wrote. You ain't told the truth about what I wrote. That worship that they had, the women had that Sunday school worship, that was my idea. And it was already in a book. You're making it no. The book was already in circulation as of 1994 or 5 because it was used at Granada's church. So by the time you got it, it was an old book, it was old. You're just trying to make it right. You reworked it. And you made money off of it. That was cool. But don't be trying to make it seem like you was no genius, that you would come up with having any of that stuff that was in that book. The only two things new that you had was that I'm not associated with was the human trafficking stuff that Ellen does and the She's My Sister. All that other stuff was mine. That Sunday school worship, I wrote that Sunday school worship down to a T. A community fair, all that stuff, down to a T. Men's retreat that you do every year, that was my idea, wasn't yours. It was in my book. A women's retreat, that was in my book. Are you serious? Please don't make me go down a list of all the stuff that you got. All that stuff is mine. Not none of that stuff is yours. But see, if we want to, we could have scrapped in court. It would have been easier for us to scrap in court. Because you swear you're a visionary that you ain't. See, what does the Bible say about working the works of him that sent you while it is day, for the night is coming and no man can work? John 9:4. Or Nehemiah 4:6. For the people had a mind to work, you ain't never had no mind to work. Or else why would you cancel a meeting for the ministry? Isn't that what you let Ellen tell you to do? See, I don't know why you listen to her, because she ain't God inspired. Who cancels a meeting about ministry? You could have brought any of those deacons, Sherrod, Calvin, you could have brought anybody. You could have brought all 80 of your deacons if you wanted to, and we could have did it right in the sanctuary. I've always told you that. Tell people the truth. Don't lie on me. I have never told you to be one-on-one with me. No, but you always let Ellen tell you not to sit down and listen. Do Ellen got any ideas besides stealing mine? Or is all of her ideas about stealing my stuff? Because I'm going to send you my book. Of course I am. I'll make sure you get my book. And then, see, my challenge is once I send you my book. Because once I send you my book, I'm going to take a picture of it. I might get a receipt for it. Why am I going to send you my book? Because you lied. You said that what I said, you ain't, the men's retreat idea was already in my son's father book. And what are you talking about? That idea was already, and so was the women's retreat and all that other stuff that you're doing. You didn't meet me till 2008. So since we don't have to argue, I told you that we didn't have to argue. We could have just went ahead and started over fresh. That wasn't good enough for you. That was you that was acting like that. Isn't it me that said, well, let's start over at another church? I gave you the location and everything. You want me to post the pictures up there for the people? But don't believe me. Ask Reverend Miles. Leroy Miles. Ask him. He got the book. Oh, he don't got it. You want me to give it to somebody else that goes to E9? So then that way, the next time you lie, see, this is what I'm going to do for you. Since you like to tell lies on me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a book to about 2 or 3 people. So then the very next time you lie and say that you ain't get no book, I'm going to have some receipts. See, because I mailed the book to Reverend Miles from the post office. You want me to tell you what don't make me. I'm not going to tell you what post office I mailed. Because I like that post office. But I mailed it. And he got it. And ain't that see, right. See, I don't like you keep reading the Bible that says give glory to whom glory is due and honor to whom honor is due and tribute to whom tribute is due. But then you should have gave honor and tribute to me, who made you, who got you where you was, riding around in all these expensive cars, and then you want to act like you want to turn your nose up at me, the nerve. I'll just leave you where you at, sir. I don't got time for your foolishness of you thinking you better than me after you done use my stuff. See, you that's delusion. You can't be better than me and you using my stuff, and you use my stuff already. When I met you, you had 11,000 members. You ain't got 11,000 now. Your church grew because of me. Now, listen, I'm always willing to lay down my sword for the Lord. See, I'm always willing to lay down my sword for the Lord. See, Bishop, see? I walked in this man's church peaceably, and he acted like a fool. See, Bishop, I'm trying to tell you. Listen to me, Bishop. Felton and Reed, I'm talking to both of y'all right now. Listen to what I said. I walked into his church peaceably. He's the one that acted like an ogre. Oh, you don't believe me? Here it goes. In 2018, who was the commissioner? Richard Ross. What you do? Didn't you have Richard Ross drop those handcuffs in my flower pot? You thought that was funny? Right, but see, if I'd have put all your business out there right now, everybody would be saying, Catherine, you're vindictive. Okay, all right. See, Bishop Reed and Felton, I'm just telling my story. Because, see, Alan tried to make it seem like I'm a liar. He's forget that Richard Ross was a member of your church. And what were you doing to me? Didn't you have me evicted from 3144? Didn't you want me to go down all the places you had me thrown out of? Because so, list of them. And why haven't you helped me get my own place to live? Right. See, that's what you did. I wasn't some of the places I had to be, I was sleeping on the floor, the floor. Not a bed, the floor. See, that's what you think of me. So see, I don't really owe you respect. I don't. See, you've always used people to verbally harass me when you don't deserve respect. You want to be respected, but the stuff you do to people is worse. Making people lose their jobs, right? Just abusing your authority. Like one of the kings in the Bible, just abusing their authority. And then standing up talking to people about God. Who does that? Hold on. Make sure that nobody can. Oh. You have. See, because otherwise, a normal person would say, oh, I didn't pay you. Let me do that. That's not what you said. See, what you did was try to avoid paying me by just kicking me out of everywhere. And it was funny. You had me thrown out of 138 West Logan, thrown out of 75 East Sharp Neck, kicked out of numerous places. And it was, and guess what? You laughed at every place I got kicked out of over the last 10 years. But see, now that I'm only giving you back the treatment that you gave me. See, wasn't it funny when you were doing it to me? So then don't worry about me getting on the internet telling your business. Since it was funny when you were, you don't ever do something to somebody that they can't turn around and do to you. It just took me 10 years to do it. Because I really didn't want to do it. Really, I didn't. But I figured since you kept doing it to me, it will be time for me to do it to you so that you can understand how it works. Telling people I don't take showers. You sound goofy. Some of the stuff you did to me, right. I have taken it and now, right. 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 See, your selfishness has brought us here. You not wanting me to get my own place to live so that you could keep throwing me out and throwing me out. See, that makes you feel good. To see me cry and I don't have a place to live and I'm hungry. That makes you feel good. Because then you will probably say, well, what would you do for a place to live? Would you come home and have sex? No, I wouldn't come home to have sex with you and Ellen. Didn't I just go through that? I would not. I would allow you to say you can't come because I wouldn't let you do that to me. See, because you've done it to other people. You did it to, didn't you do that to Rondea? Ain't that how Rondea got kicked out? Oh, you must, you did that already. You did that already. Rondea, Smoke, right. See, I'm not them. You would never be able to tell me no stupid stuff like that. And you wouldn't have had sex with Smoke and Rondea because Smoke and Rondea are both, they're both very hard females. So they were for Ellen, they weren't for you. But you would have never been coming. No, that's not how that works. You wouldn't have never been playing that type of game with me, and I told you that from the beginning. I told you that from the very beginning, that we wasn't playing them games. So I don't know why the situation with Ghetto, listen, your information didn't have to be out there. But see, after it happened with Ghetto, then you came back and had Kim Roman to say something. And you knew all along, well, I don't know what you knew, actually. But as long as I've known you, you should know how I know how you operate. See, you put yourself in bad positions. You calling the university, telling them to send you a male student. See, here's the whole thing. Nobody would have nothing to tell on you, Alan, if you wouldn't do these things. You're the one calling a university, having them to send you a student for the summer. That's you. That's not me. You do those things. And then you can't clean that up. You put yourself in those positions. So if people know that you're gay, you put yourself. I didn't call no university. You do that. You put your lovers on the payroll. You do that. See, you do the stuff, and then when you get called on it, you want to look. No. You do that. The deacons at your church know you. Who don't know? It don't even matter that they do know. Because most importantly, that's why you live in Montgomery County. See, your church ain't hip to it. They don't get it. See, I've been out Montgomery County, and so I know what it is. The reason why you won't live here in Philly, because you can't walk around freely. That's why you will not live here in Philadelphia. That's why you don't want to live here in Philadelphia. And if you did live here in Philadelphia, it wasn't for too long. Once you found out that you could just be free over there. Ain't that how it is? Because, I've been out there and I see how they operate. They don't really care about you out there like that. You're big here in Philadelphia. You're not big out there. You're not. In Bryn Mawr, Haverford, Radnor, St. David's, Paoli, Exton, Dornthal, you're not big out there. That's the main line. They have $1 million. You're not big out there. There are people richer than you out there. You're not big out there. And that's why you wanted to be out there. Because out there, you're smaller. You're not magnified. You're only magnified when you come to Philadelphia. See, you wanted to be out there because it's like losing something in a pond. It's hard to find it. And that's the truth. See, in Philadelphia, it would be easy to find it. But not in Montgomery County. If you're rich, no, it's not. Those people out there with $1 million homes live next door to each other like nothing. And that's why you wanted to be out there. Because here in Philadelphia, you're big, but out there you're not. You're around people that have 10 times more than you do, so they don't care about you at all, period. Zip, and you know that I've seen that. Thorndale, Exton, Paoli, Malvern, St. David's, Radnor, Haverford, Bryn Mawr, Narberth, right. It's a different caliber. It's not the same. So here in Philadelphia, you're big, but you would never be big out there. And that's why you want to be out there, because it's like you're in a pond. And don't nobody really care about you having no church here in Philadelphia. Probably half them people out in Montgomery County wouldn't even come to your church. And it ain't because of no scandals. They just don't care. It's a big ride. See, I ain't being smart. Even if I never see a bad thing about you, they already wasn't coming to your church. Don't play. They already wasn't coming to your church. I just started talking about you a couple of months ago. They already out there was not coming to your church. Don't lie about it. Ain't nobody from no Paoli came to no Philadelphia to come to your church, Alan. Please don't make me embarrass you up in here. Why is that? Because they know how you are on the main line. And your people in your church never knew up until I said it. And that's why they wasn't going to come from Paoli to your church. Because they're free with letting you live who you are up there, but they ain't willing to come down here to listen to you preach. See how that is? They don't care. They will let you live how you live up there and just not come to your church and hear nothing you say. Because they know they ain't going to come in your church and embarrass you. They just not going to come hear you preach. While the people in your church didn't know who you are, so they were listening to you preach. Difference. And all up until you played me, I ain't care about it. For real, but you kept playing me. Using ghetto to say mean stuff to me, using King Roman. But then if I would have really been explosive, I ain't really been explosive by saying the stuff that you do, because everything that I see that you do is a matter of record. So it's not defamation of character. See, I didn't defame your character. Everybody up there, Paoli, Exton, Thorndale, they all know. It's the people in Philadelphia that don't know. So yeah, that's why that's why they don't drive down here to hear you preach. Not now, not ever. They know. It was the people down here that didn't know. See, that was why you did your dirt in Philadelphia and lived out there, because you could walk freely among them and they don't care. Ever. But on the flip side, they wouldn't come to your church either, because they just wouldn't. You would just be somebody who lived out there, not somebody who they're right. And here, in Philadelphia, you would be like Hollywood, but out there, you would never be Hollywood. And this is the reason why I use that. Hollywood, weird, whatever. Right. You would. It's a whole nother different caliber out there. People walk out there and when you go out there with your lifestyle, they like, oh, okay, whatever. But then when you come to in Philadelphia, you have to pretend. You ain't got to pretend out there. It's normal everyday life out there. That's why you live out there and you don't live here. But on the flip side, your church is the one that didn't really know who you was. But you put your own business out there. by having people come to your church and pretend. When if it was that you really wanted to hide, you would have just stayed in Montgomery County. See, why bring you brought your business to your church. I didn't do that. You did that. I ain't the one that called no university and told them to send me no student. You did that. That wasn't smart. You do those things. Put people on the payroll. You do that. See, you do your own stuff. And then when somebody calls you on it, you get mad. And see, Reverend Miles, Reverend Newberry and all them, they're never going to tell you you're wrong. Because they probably are afraid you will fire them. See, you want yes people around you, so then to validate what you do. So then what happens is, if they say the wrong thing, you be ready to fire them. Right? Isn't that how that happens? Or do you want me to post that email from your... Right. Isn't that how that happens? See, if you were saying that I didn't want to make amends with you, didn't I press the join button on Sunday? And I don't know who pushed it back. It doesn't really matter who pushed it back. See, you want to continue to fight after I said that I would lay down my sword for the Lord and stop fighting you. You want to continue to fight. So I'm going to just leave you alone and let you fight yourself at this point. I am. The reason why is because it's stupid. I did press the join button. And it bounced back. And then, I don't know, your wife had somebody to block me out. That's y'all doing that dumb stuff. Right. So, see, if you're getting dragged and told on, it's for a reason. If I needed your help, listen, out of all the people that you could have told no to, you told no to me? Do you tell Lady Ellen no? When she asked to go to Martha's Vineyard, did you tell her no? Did you tell her no when she needed $10,000 for a hearing aid? Not a house, a hearing aid. Right. See, you do stupid stuff. And then when it comes back, no. We ain't gonna do that. The type of money that you spent on her, you ain't never spent that on me who helped you get the money. That's why we're at odds now, is because you want to smear stuff in my face, which you do for other women that didn't help you get the money. So we should be at odds. We really should be in court. But you won't file the paperwork. And now how it goes. You won't file the paperwork. I told you 10 years ago to file the paperwork. Ask Deacon Cannon what I told him when he said that. Why won't you file the paperwork, Alan? It's simplified. We can cut corners. We can cut ways. Because I don't really want to fight with you. You want to spend money on women that are silly. Be my guest. Go ahead. You don't want me to be over at the other church. You win. You're right. I won't. You want me to just sit and watch it on TV or go sit in the park and talk to God? Okay, you win. You're right. Because you sure did go over there and tell that lady so. No, I won't be going back to them people's church. That was embarrassing. Bishop ain't do nothing to me. And neither did his wife. I came in here with my bags all homeless and stuff. They ain't saying nothing wrong. But you didn't want me there, so I won't go to their church either, because you didn't want me at their church either. They didn't do anything wrong to me. They looked at me homeless. They didn't say I was an outcast. You outcasted me out of your church and outcasted me out of their church too. Ain't that something? See, I couldn't come to your church, but I couldn't go to their church either. Okay, well, you're right. I'll stay out of church. Right. Okay. See, that's how that story went. I left your church and went to somebody else's church. Then you ran over there and told them stuff about me but you told them stuff, but you didn't tell them everything. I watched Bishop on Sunday. I did. I watched you too. You're still the arrogant, cocky person. But are you going to be arrogant and cocky this week? See, last week I let you have it because your mother-in-law was here. And your mom-in-law was here because she celebrated her birthday. I don't know whether she a Leo like me, but if she a Leo like me, then she already know what it is. I don't know. I know you said her birthday. I know the Leo ended the 22nd. So I don't really know when her birthday was, and I'm not asking. I'm just saying, if she is a Leo, she already know how we operate. So call her, ask her. Right. Trying to be something. Hey, you don't want me to come to your church? Their church, I won't. I can send my money to their church, though, even though I can't go, because you know how you went over there and you started talking about it. I ain't going to send not near no dime to your church, because tell people how I was sending my money to your church after the fact. Tell people how I was buying. Wasn't I buying school supplies and taking them up to your church? Tell people that. See, because when you make people think that I wasn't there, you're a liar. I wasn't there, but I still was contributing and donating. But when it came time for you to do, you was trying to make it one-sided. And I ain't playing no one side. It should be, if I do stuff for you, you should be able to do it for me in the forefront, not in the back, because you don't want Ellen. No, Ellen is trying to make it something that it's not. There's no romance between me and you. It's me trying to make money off of ideas that are mine, sir. What part of that is not being understood around here? Your men's retreat idea is mine. You didn't write that. You didn't write any of that stuff. How about this? How about you just stop using all my stuff? 2027, I'm gonna give you a blank book. I'm gonna post it right up on my page, and I'm gonna let everybody see what the inside of it look like. It's blank. Honest to God, it's blank. You know why it's blank? Because it's been here for a very long time. See, you didn't know that. It's been here for a very long time. At least, what? I had the book, but I don't make duplicates. It's a reason for me not making duplicates. I don't make duplicates because if I get ill, someone else will have it. I don't make duplicates. See, I didn't have to worry about that with Granada, with duplicates with him, because Granada had the original. You're the one that was walking around with a copy. Let's get the facts of the story straight. You are the one that had the copy. The deceased person had the original. So I don't make duplicates. So therefore, I'm going to give you the original of the only copy of the book that I have. It has 2026 and 2027. And what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to duplicate that book 3 times and give it to 3 different people. And then see, some of the people who I'm going to give it to, I know they're not liars like you are. To actually act like a men's retreat, women's retreat. Oh, none of that stuff was yours. You ain't right. You had 11,000 members when I met you. Now you got churches in other places, right? You didn't have that when I met you, Alan. You didn't. You expanded your brand and you never, right? So that is the reason why I'm getting ready to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to give everybody, I'm going to give about 3 blank books. And then it's going to be who I give it to. They're not going to all be members of Enoch, and it's going to be for a reason. You lie on me, and you try to make it look like I didn't help you get to where you are. Yes, I did. See, tell those lies down here on earth. Tell those lies down here on earth that I didn't help you get to where you are. A men's retreat, women's retreat. That's my stuff, not your stuff. A Sunday school fellowship, my stuff. Women's fellowship, my stuff. Men's teacher, the class that you teach now is my idea. Don't make me embarrass you up on here. That's not your idea to have no men's Sunday school where you teach. You want me to pull that out? That's my idea. I wrote that in 1994 or 5. That was in Granada's book. What are you talking? That was not your idea to teach no men's. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You weren't doing that when I first met you. Please don't. None of the stuff that you're doing. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. The Young Abrahams might be your idea, but even the Young Abrahams is a reshaped idea. Because it was right, you reshaped and reworked my stuff and right. No, see, the men of Issachar, right? The men of is the men of Issachar your idea, Alan? Is the men of Issachar your idea, or is that idea an idea from my book, or was the men of Issachar something else in my book? Do you want me to bring it out? Because in my book, I talked about men, women, children. In my book, I gave 4 references of ministry in my book. When you got a hold of my book, you tried to make it seem like, no, you ain't no great genius. And you ain't want to be, that's why you ain't never want to talk to me, because you can't be intimidated with all the pain in my life that I've had. I have no choice but to write about God. I've had the type of pain that other people haven't. So that is how God manifested himself to me. Don't be jealous. It's because people sometimes with anointing, they go through a lot of pain. So yeah, right. See, when you write books, don't you use a ghostwriter? Because don't make me Code of a Righteous Warrior. You don't really write books. You don't. Don't make me embarrass you about that book. Don't you use a ghostwriter or either someone helps you. You don't just straight out write books. Don't make me embarrass you about your stuff. You know how I know how you operate. You always have somebody help you because you can't really write anything. I'm not too sure that you even write your sermons. Right. Listen to what you say when you stand up. You have studied to show your doesn't your congregation doesn't catch on. Your congregation, they don't catch on. I could open up a Bible right now, pick a verse, and just start preaching from it. Can you do that? You have knowledge of God 10 times to the power of mind. It's called math. You have knowledge of God, book knowledge of God, but you can't really open up the Bible right now and preach. I bet you I could, because that's how I was taught. See, the way that you was taught and I was taught are not the same. I actually could open up the Bible right now and start preaching without even because that's how I was taught. See, your universal knowledge, your university knowledge of God doesn't allow you when you say that you studied on which level? Studied on book level or studied where you actually can open up a book and just start talking? You can. I could take you into some apostolic churches and they probably wouldn't want you back. Why? Because I just told you why. Your knowledge of God it's book knowledge, and what happens with that is everything for you is in a book, and if it's not on a level of spirit, and that's why the natural man does not receive the things of God. That's why you don't. See how I called that off the top of my head? Yes, it's in Corinthians, but that's why you don't. I ain't clowning you for your education. I'm just telling you that one of the reasons why you and I don't get along is because everything with you is book. And it would be like you praying for something, God giving it to you, and you just don't believe. I can't help that you don't believe. I can't help your unbelief. That's not my job. I can't any longer help your unbelief. Because part of me actually believes that you don't believe. Why? Because you actually said we're having Saturday praying, and then asking God why your stuff don't. Because he said you don't believe. That's why. You can't ask God for something and you want to tell him how to. So yeah. You pray for something, ask for something, ask God. You can't tell God what to do, and you keep doing that. I don't mean being specific in your prayers. I mean, it's the way that right. No, you don't want to work with the person in ministry whose stuff you stole. That doesn't even make sense. That's you that's doing that. See, all these called out people, they don't have anything to do with our battle at all, for real. They got called out. They don't have anything to do with our battle. Pastor Reed, Bishop Felton, they all know about my book. Cynthia Hill, Gina Stewart, they all know that that's my book. Nobody not knows, so you can't even lie and say she's lying. Haven't I sent all of them emails about my book? Haven't I all sent them post office letters about my book? I have. So if you were to say, Catherine, you're lying, I don't need the receipts. Pastor Hill is down here in Decatur, Georgia. Gina Stewart is somewhere in Memphis, Tennessee or something. She's somewhere down there. Keith Reed is here. Excuse me, Bishop, I ain't being disrespectful. And then, right, I've all sent these people information. So you can't say that I'm lying. And I don't really have to tell what I've sent to them. Because it doesn't matter about them. It's about you trying to ignore me. And then, see, isn't it truth? I could never get you in court. No lawyer would take my case. Isn't that what happened? No lawyer wanted to take my case. No lawyer wanted to touch my case with a 10-foot pole. Gee, I wonder why. Did you pay them not to take the case, Alan? Yeah, yeah. Hey, Ness. Yeah, Ness. So, Ness. Let me say this to you, right? You are appreciated in a different kind of way. I must say that about you, Ness. I appreciate you in a different kind of way. See, Ness, I told you something, and I really told it to you, but you didn't. You didn't. I don't know if you didn't believe me, but I told you from my heart, and I'll say it right here. You have something that other people don't have, Ness. I can't tell you that I have it because I have an anger issue, but I know that you have it. You're talented. You don't allow your emotions. Listen, Ness. I told you this before. You have something. Listen. Sometimes when it's time for you to grow, listen to me, Ness. Sometimes, Ness, when it's time for you to grow, you want to stay around what's comfortable. And I told you 2 or 3 months ago, Ness, that you had something. And it didn't have anything to do with me. It doesn't, because when I get angry, I snap out. So we know I ain't no journalist. I ain't. No, journalists don't do that, Ness. You and I are not the same. You have something. And see, because you, listen, I'm going to say it the best way I know how. So, because you're right here and I can tell it to you. Ness, you're talented on another level. You don't realize what you have because you really think that you're, oh, listen, when you did that Lunchable challenge and stuff, see, I'm going to tell you something, Ness. Listen, you have the ability to talk about church stuff like the Mario does. I don't have that capability. I don't. I've done it with you, but that's not me, Ness. That's you. We're, listen, sometimes when you can't do something, you have to actually talk to somebody that can. You can and I can't. I'm not in, listen, Ness, I ain't embarrassed to say that. Right. See, Ness, pay attention to what I'm telling you. You, Ness, have the potential to do what Demario is doing. It's not me. We're not the same. I have messed my name up. You ain't did that. I've messed my name up because of a battle that I had with my pastor. You and I are not the same. I told you 2 or 3 months ago that you have the potential to be the female King Jives. I don't say that about everybody. It's plenty of females that do. Listen, you do have that potential. Whether you believe me or you don't, it doesn't matter. The reason why I know that you can do it is because, Ness, you could do it. You're not me. But see, here's the whole thing. You don't have to worry about numbers in the church sector. I was in DeMario's chat the other day and he had almost 10,000 people in his chat. Honest to God, he did. Those are facts. I watched DeMario grow. I have. I have been around DeMario for that long that I've watched DeMario grow. And he knows that I love him. He knows that I love him. These other people are new. St. James and Thais. Listen, when DeMario first started, it was him. I remember William, Obnoxious TV, whatever, and Larry Reed. Wasn't a whole lot of people. And they might not have even been a sector. They might have just been reporting. But now, Ness, listen, whenever you do something, there is always room for somebody else. There's room for you, Ness. There's not room for it, Catherine. See, pay attention to what I'm telling you. There's not room for me because I'm involved in a personal battle. Wait a minute. Yeah, of course I did. Right, but see, Ness, listen to me. See, the reason why I tell you that, Ness, and I don't try to do it for myself is because when you see something in somebody, you can't lie to them about it. It would be easy for me, Ness, to tell you to stay over in the beef sector and squash it up with them when I know that you can be over there and you could grow your platform listen, your platform evolved and you didn't know it. Your platform evolved and you didn't know it. See, that Saturday that we were talking about church stuff, Your platform had already, even though, listen, even though you went back and you did be, listen, your platform evolved, it changed. Like if you ever go over into King Jive's chat, the official King Jive's chat, you will see what I'm talking about. I love King Jives. He don't know that? Of course he knows that. I used to be, he knows that. But, right, Global Impact, listen, all of those men, it's not male dominated. There's females. The Juice Talk Radio, the Shun Talks, Judge Alicia Thomas, it's quite a few females. But there's more men, I can't lie. Maybe that's why I'm encouraging you. I don't really do church stuff. I don't. I mean, I liked when you and I were doing it. Of course I did. I thought that was good. I thought we had a great show. I did. I did. I did. Yeah, like that whole thing with Global Impact, all things theology. Listen, Global Impact is 7-day Adventist. They are very strict in their church. I've been in their church. When I say strict, they are strict down to the diet. Like I can't go in their church and tell them that I just ate a piece of chicken because the chicken has a face on it. Or, right, so pay it. Yeah, they're strict about that. I sat down at the table the other day with somebody that tried to tell me not to eat mayonnaise. I ain't tell God that. See, listen, I'm just being real. Right. See, listen, I'm saying this to you. People don't know how much you mean to me. They don't know that. The only person that should know that, Ness, is you. People do not need to know how much you mean to me. And you know why I said that. The reason why you mean so much to me is because you had the courage to do something that I didn't do. You did a church show and you didn't care who thought about it. Listen, although you came back to the beef sector, listen, the only thing that came back to the beef sector is they thought, Ness. You did a Lunchables challenge and men won. Ness, you did a Lunchable challenge and men won. You are, pay attention, Ness, you know how to pivot. That's not everybody. Like, it's hard for me to try to tell you this in front of people because I have to always watch what I say because they would take it the wrong way and really think that I don't know. Only Ness knows how much. You listen, I've told my sons about you, Ness. Of course I have. But I told them the truth, that you are special. But you don't, it's like you're gifted, but you don't know you're gifted. You are gifted and talented, but you don't know you're gifted. And the reason why I said that is because the way you did that Lunchables challenge, gifted. I didn't say that other people didn't do competitions, Ness. I'm glad that they did. You did that Lunchables challenge with so much integrity. You did. It doesn't matter what anybody says about it. You did it with integrity and grace. I didn't even get a chance to commend you for it. I'm glad you're over here now so that I can tell you that. You've outgrown the beef sector, Ness, whether you want to admit it or you don't. You have outgrown the beef sector and you don't even know it. You went so far so fast and I don't even think you tried. But you did. The way you did that Lunchables challenge, you did. You went to another level without even realizing that you're not there with them anymore. See, listen to me. Some people don't want to see you leave because they're afraid that you're going to get bigger than they are. And really, truthfully honest, even if you went to the church sector and you started off slowly, you would have a following. Of course you would. I mean, I actually told you about King Jobs for a reason. King Josh have always kept it real. From the entire time I've known him, he has. All these other people, Thais, St. James, they're new. King Josh's been around for real for a very long time. Global Impact, the Social Fire Church and all that, they're new. And I don't gotta get nothing against them building their platforms. Larry Reed has been around for a very long time. He don't even come on like he used to. He doesn't anymore. Right. Bernard Jordan and his son, the Prophet Manasseh. Prophet Manasseh, I will never tell our story. No, no, no. Those who know, they know Prophet Manasseh. But I ain't gonna, no, no, no. Those who know Prophet Manasseh, they know. And those who don't know, I ain't never gonna tell again. But to say this, you have to realize something about yourself, Ness, for real. That's how it is. See, it's not that when people say something to you, you respond. One of the reasons why I didn't say too much, say too much, is because I know Ness can grow her platform in the church sector, but Ness doesn't know that. See, I know some of them same people that follow you over here, they will go over there to hear what you have to say. You and I are not the same, Ness. We're not. Seriously. And I'm saying that for a reason. When we did our church show, we had a lot of people. When we did our church show, we did about 2 or 3 shows, 2 shows, I think. We had a lot of people. That means people would listen to you, do church stuff. And I had other people to introduce you to that do church stuff. Right, for a reason. I'm not saying there's not good. There's good, bad in every sector. Of course there is. But listen, I think that you're getting tired of the sector. I already got tired of the sector. I got tired of the sector because listen, they're virtual beefs. They're virtual beefs. I mean, I could drag people in real life. I mean, I was a minute ago before you came over here, but I ain't really listen. I ain't really want to argue with my former pastor. I really wanted to make amends. It was him that was acting goofy. Now I don't want to argue for another 10 years. See, that was honesty when I walked in your doors, but you weren't in a place to receive it. That's not my fault. See, now, so pay attention. You outgrew the beef sector and you didn't know that you did it. I watched you do it. The reason why they didn't know that you did it, let's watch how you full circle and they didn't see it. You said on your platform the other day that I don't want no dragging of no kid. I was in your clouds. I heard you. You got so annoyed, irritated, and agitated. See, you was like, you didn't like when the sector goes dark. You evolved. Let me say it another. What I want to say, there's a reason why I'm guarding my words right now. And there's a reason why I'm guarding my words. The reason why I'm guarding my words is because what I have to say is for you, and I can't say it where a lot of other people can hear it, but to try to tell you in parables of the Bible. Because when I tell it to you that way, it's scripture. And if I say it any other way, somebody's going to twist it. But to say it like this, Abraham and Lot, I'm going to use them for an example. When God really wanted to use Abraham, he had to separate him from Lot. That's Bible. Ain't no other way of saying it. When God really wanted to use Abraham, he had to separate him from Lot. Your Lot is the beef sector, if you want me to say it like that. I ain't saying they bad, good, or ugly. That's not what I'm talking about. I said when God really wanted to use Abraham, he had to separate Abraham from Lot. Good, bad, or ugly. Yeah, I said it like that for a reason. That's in the Bible. So those are facts. That's not a Catherine said anything about it. No, that is a Bible story. When God really wanted to use Abraham, He not only separated him from Lot, he changed his name as well and changed his wife's name. His name was Abram. He changed it to Abraham. His wife's name was Sarah. He changed it to Sarah. It was Sair. He changed it to Sarah. It wasn't that originally. He separated them for a reason. Lot went to Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham went the other way. So see, the other day when you said on your platform that you didn't really want all of that, the reason why I didn't drop down in your chat and say nothing scriptural, Bible, whatever, is because it's hard to try to talk to people that when you start talking about God, they'll start saying, because then they'll say, well, Catherine, you just was bashing your pastor, but I didn't want to bash my pastor, former pastor, whatever, because I did really go on the so see, they're not going to receive that from me, because they'll say, just a minute, right, but I was in your chat the other day when you said, please stop with I was right there. Some of the times when you go live, the reason why I don't drop down is because I don't want people to start saying stuff to me, so I'll just listen to you. But I listen to you a whole lot, for real. And that's how I know that you have evolved. You said no dragging kids, no dragging dead people. That's integrity, Ness. I'm not talking about anybody that does it. That's not what I'm saying right now. At all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have evolved without realizing that you have. And even when you came back and did your challenge and you had certain guidelines, you did it with integrity and grace. Listen, I always give credit to people who deserves credit. You had a song, you really did that. I hope that your challenge gets a lot of views. But I'm also going to share some information with you about you pivoting your platform for this Lord of the Moon that's coming in February. Pay attention to what I say, Ness. You're already monetized. I may not be, and I'm not. But that don't mean that I ain't going to help you get to where you need to go, because I ain't know that don't mean that. That don't mean that. The way that I'm going to help you, you ain't, listen. What I tell you, if you choose to share it, it's your business. And if you don't choose to share it, it's your business. But you will definitely have to pivot, because in the next year, they're going to make it harder for you to stay monetized. So then that would mean if I know something that could help you, I have to share it with you. I can't allow you to stay over here and then you might, They're not going to demonetize anybody. They're just going to make it harder for you to make money, which means you must pivot away from and go to another. Well, that'll be real easy. That's not hard to do at all. I'll share, of course I will. I just won't do it right here, because the wrong people don't need to get that information, because then they'll get it. And I'm going to do it the same way that the $1 Million show does it. See, when he has information to share about stocks, bonds, interest, and all that stuff, he don't share it on his platform. He invites you to his platform, but he doesn't share it on his platform. See, I listen to him. What he does is he invites you to his Patreon. So if that you're serious, you will pay to hear it. And if you're not serious, right. So I ain't going to make you pay for the information. I'm just not going to share it right here. Why? Because the wrong people will get it and they will be making money, and that's not the intention. The intention is for you who is already monetized to be able to pivot somewhere else. See, and I don't want the wrong type of people to be able to, when you pivot, not to go with you, because it's a lot different. See, some people, you don't really want them to go with you, because when they go with you, they're going to keep the same energy. And they're if you were trying to grow your platform to 100,000 or whatever, or like Mr. London, 2 point something million, then some people ain't gonna be able to go with you, because they're gonna still be trying to do beef sector stuff in your church. Right. Right, exactly. See, what they want to do is just keep fighting. I don't myself want to keep fighting. Right. See, listen, I used to really see. I'm gonna tell you this. I don't like when people, some of the stuff they say just don't be hitting. Drags have gotten old. I mean, beef sector drags. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Even me dragging my pastor, that's old too. It's old because it's old. I mean, although it could be new tea, it's old me dragging them. The reason why is because if I went in his church to make amends with him, me dragging him now is just it's useless in the sense of the word. He acted like that, not me. But as it pertains to you, that was real beef. That wasn't no That wasn't no beef. That was fake. That was real beef. Real beef. And people over here, they don't really like real beef. From what I can see, they like beef that's fake, virtual. My stuff ain't fake. I mean, it's all the way different. But I mean, they like to keep you constantly running back and forth with the beef. And when I say they, I should say the beef sector. I'm not talking about a specific person. In other words, let me see if I can say this in the right way. If you right now said, listen, I'm gonna say this, Ness. If you right now saying, listen, I'm pivoting, I'm just gonna do church sector stuff. Only your true supporters are going to follow you. It's the reason why I said it like that. If you all of a sudden made an announcement on your platform that I'm not doing B sector stuff, only your true supporters. Listen, it doesn't matter if one day you had 5,000 people in your chat that was listening to B sector stuff and the next day you only had 100. Those only those 100 were your true supporters. People never understand that. You don't have 5,000 supporters. You have listen, there's a difference between a fan and a follower. A fan is just there for the minute. A follower will be there regardless. You might have some fans, you don't have a lot of followers, and that's I ain't being smart. I was in your chat the other day when you were talking. I just didn't say too much. Right. If you ever really started talking about God, you'll find out. Look, I don't really talk about God. Sometimes I do, but I don't really talk about God on here. I mean, I could open up my Bible and start talking about God. Of course I could. I've been in church long enough to do that. I could do a Bible study about God. Of course I could. Because the Bible says to study to show thyself approved. A workman that rightly divides. Right, I could. But I also listen to the Coffee and Bible Hour with Brothers Mel. I do. They come on every morning. I don't listen to them every morning, but they come on. See, those are some positive people. Brother Mel does a Coffee Bible study hour every morning. If he's still there, I haven't heard him in a while, but he comes on. Pastor Kell, she comes on and do a prayer. It's quite a few people. Is that Minister Barry down there? Apostle, he comes on. So right, see, listen. That's truthfully speaking. Elijah Hankerson, he goes through the Bible for like 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a few people that do. Dale Bronner, Ness, Bishop Dale Bronner down here in Georgia. Now, Bishop Bronner, to my knowledge, he does Sunday service, 2 or 3 of them. But you can pull up probably all of his old videos right there on YouTube. I don't too much watch certain people I don't watch, but Bishop Dale Bronner is one of them I do. See, here's the whole thing. Always look for the message. Don't worry about the messenger. Because if you worry about the messenger, listen, we read a book about broken people. We can't be perfect. The book we read is about broken people. Moses stuttered. David was an adulterer. Solomon had too many wives. We read a book about broken people. So therefore, we can't be perfect. The people we're reading about are not perfect. Abraham had a baby by Hagar. The book we read is not perfect. So, and that's why when people want us to be perfect, they have unrealistic expectations. Yeah. Like, listen, the Nolan Wells story has caused so many platforms to expand. Smoking TV News, Queen Amadea. Let's see. Well, Tisa was already big. Tisa Tells was already big. But I'm just saying, when I was in her chat and she had 3,800 people just talking about Nolan Wells. Queen Amadea the other day, she had 1,000 people in her chat. Queen Sheba Darling, and they were only talking about Nolan Wells. Why? Because his birthday was the day after mine, the 19th. 19 on 19. Pay attention. 19 on 19. If he had lived, he would have been 19 on the 19th. So, of course, they were talking about it. But, right. So, see, Ness, yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna say too much about the Abraham and Lot thing because I don't want people to take and twist a story that really is in the Bible. But you have evolved, elevated. You have. Listen, I will be your biggest cheerleader forever, always, because and not because of that Lunchables challenge either, because you actually stepped out and did something, and something that you did was you talked about uh um Christian news on your channel. You did. So I will always be your biggest cheerleader, regardless of who says what about Ness. I support Pizarro too, but Pizarro started her own sector, and I don't know what happened. I didn't listen. I don't really know what happened, but I can say this: sometimes when you want to do things, you just have to be prepared that you have to shake. That I can't even say shake. I would say that some people won't follow you. When you go and do certain content, certain people won't follow you. Like, I really tried to step back into my former church and work in the ministry with my former pastor, and his wife really tried to stop me from doing that. That right. So see, pay attention to what I. That's what I try to do. That's not going to stop me from working in a ministry. It's not. I mean, right. See, when you are lined up with people that don't believe the same thing, it's just best to just not work with them at all because y'all don't believe the same thing. And that's it'd be like you come to Philadelphia and I tell you to do the type of now listen to my idea, Ness. I listen. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying that you're going to do this, but listen. It would be like me coming. It would be like me telling Ness to come to Philadelphia and open up a women's shelter, and she just talked to the women about her life. My stuff just be basic like that. People be laughing though, because I've really seen people do stuff like that. So when people just be laughing at my stuff and thinking it's corny, no, it's God ordained. There's a difference. You think it's corny because you don't. Right? No, 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 no. God is not complicated. He's simple. It's simple-minded people that make him complicated. It's the difference. God is not complicated, or else he wouldn't have told the prophets to tell the man to just go dip 7 times. It, God is so simple. He's not complicated. It's because people would like him to be complex. He's not complex. He doesn't make things difficult. It would be like him saying, "Hey, Ness, you down there in Seattle? But I got something over there in Philadelphia for you to do." I ain't saying that he said that. I'm just showing how he works. But oftentimes what happens with people is because they're not in tune, the Bible says, "My sheep know my voice." They can't know his voice. They can't know his voice because they listen to too many other different voices. And oftentimes, them voices don't be the voices of God. So they will get confused. Not my fault. At all. Right. I just wanted to show you that or share that with you. Yes, I listen to people that cook and all that different stuff. I do. I do. It would have been really easy. I mean, seriously though, Pastor Wild, in all sincerity, if you're listening, I don't know why you let the people at your church make things complex between me and you. I just don't understand that. We could have hashed this out in May. You're the one that wanted to drag it out and make it complex. See, and that don't make sense for you to just drag something out 10 years. It could have been squashed and resolved. You're the one that kept playing ring around me. That didn't make sense. I didn't do that to you. You did it to me. I came right there and said, let's squash things. You're the one that just didn't. No, that was you that did that. That was you that threw. You didn't just throw back the olive branch, though. You actually burnt it up. You did. Burned up the olive branch. See, and while the police commissioner was the police commissioner, you did egregious things and you never took accountability. So see, had it would have been that I would have did that to you, had somebody put handcuffs in your flower place and all the egregious things you did, see, then you would be able to do exactly what I'm doing right now. Sit down and talk about it. But see, rather than talk about it, I'll put it in my book. Why? Because that was horrible what you did to me. And stood up in the pulpit and you kept doing. For 10 whole years, you had me thrown out of place after place after place. That wasn't funny. You talking? No, it wasn't really. And see, here's the whole thing. I'm not switching up to talk about it. I'm just merely stating a fact. See, none of your friends want to even admit that they knew that. You know, they don't. They don't want to say that. See, because then they want to say that something is wrong with me. But what? See, if you're going to say something is wrong with me, then what was wrong with him that he kept doing it? See, it wasn't nothing. See, wait a minute. Didn't he place me in those positions of when I left? Right. Mm. I have my autobiography. And instead of it being unfinished business, I'm just going to talk about it in my autobiography. I'm not going to spend a lot of time over here talking about it. I'm not. See, on my wall, I posted people's real names and stuff like that because I did. But not in my book, I probably will have to leave their names out. See, what I found out about people is in this story, nobody that is around me that knows my story, you know, I'm going to just say it. When I went to Keith Reed's church, Bishop Keith Reed told me to go back and make amends with Pastor Waller in 2018. Why are we now in 2026? Because Pastor Waller didn't want to make amends. See, your friend, that's your friend, told me to make amends, and you didn't want to. So when you don't want to make amends with somebody, you want to keep the nonsense going. Does it really take, how long is that? That didn't take long. That doesn't make sense that you would want to do that. But then in the same vein that you didn't want to make amends, you done egregious stuff to me. And I'm just going to put it in my book. As opposed to, no, I'm going to just put it in my book for people to read. Because if you told me to leave your church and don't come back, then that didn't mean to turn around and throw me out of place after place after place. Like you for God's grace, not for my grace. He just kept me together. The average person probably would have lost their mind if they lost their first place to live. You talking about 10 years I've lost every place to live? That was you that was doing that stuff? Right. See, it was funny. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll take that. See, but the most recent thing that you just did was help my niece get a power of attorney so I can't see my sister. That was what you did. My niece didn't come up. You did that. See, you did that. Got a power of attorney so I cannot see my sister in the hospital. That wasn't a random act, Alan. You did that. I'm going to point the finger at you. My niece didn't know anything about that. I told her, but you sent somebody over there. Right, restricted. See, you. How could you crush me over a person that did the most? I'm not crushed over my sister. Are you serious? I'm crushed that she's sick. I'm not. No, you would like to crush me, but then if I did the same thing to you, As it stands right now, what you just did. See, pay attention to how I'm just going to not crush you. It takes a lot of self-control not to crush you. It does. Because the average person would have crushed you. No, no. I didn't hurt you. See, I'm going to say that like I really meant that. I didn't hurt you. The people at the church who you're always trying to prove stuff to, they hurt you because they're the ones that told you not to let me come back. See, but they are the ones that didn't know that I was going to get on my page and drag you. Right. See, you wouldn't want nobody to do the type of things that you've done to me, but yet and still, if I right now will get on my page and really drag you like I did a couple days, it's Catherine, you're being mean, you're being this, you're being that. No, 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 no. It's simplified. It was just an apology. Didn't I walk and give you one? That wasn't good enough for you. My niece actually made it so that I can't see my sister because of you, Pastor Waller. You really thought that was funny. It's not. Me and my sister weren't close. It doesn't matter. And she's laying there right now. She doesn't even know me. It really doesn't matter. She's out of it. I mean, how does that hurt? It would be different if my sister could call my name. She can't call her own name. I mean, I ain't being funny right now. I'm saying the God's honest truth. My sister is really, she don't know right, left, cat, dog, or frog. She don't know if you're there. She ain't there. Right. She's not. She's not been for the last 6 weeks. That didn't crush me. Why would my sister being sick crush me? It crushed her. It's a difference. It didn't crush me. It's not supposed to crush me because I'm taking care of myself and I'm doing the things that I need to do, although I get tired or whatever. But see, pay attention to how you responded. You wanted something from me, so the way to go about it, see, let me help you out in your little expedition. This is real simple. I embarrassed you and the people who I said that you were having an affair with because you didn't and be a man and talk to me. You purposefully, you, Alan, purposefully had something to do with my niece, making it so I can't see my sister. Oh well, that's life. Next. She doesn't know I'm there. She can't tell you anything. She doesn't even talk. The only time she responds is when she's in pain. She makes faces. That's it. My mom said. But she doesn't respond. It's okay. That's all right. Stop doing mean stuff to me and just come out and talk. Because you've been doing mean stuff for 10 years and you that's so immature. You're too old to be doing that. That's what little boys or teenagers do to little girls. You're not a little boy. You're a grown man. You be standing up in the pulpit talking about I'm 62. Everybody knows how old you are. You don't have to keep saying your age. We know how old you are. So act like it. Stop acting like a boy that has a crush on a girl. That's not what this is. You asked me to do something. I already said that I would do it. A year or two ago, I might have said that. I would do it. Here we are 2 or 3 years later and we're still talking about it. Why? Because you're... Right. We're not one and the same. What are you waiting for? A year or two ago and we're still talking about it. That's corny. And a year or two ago, I came to your church and gave you what? The stuff for the children. So when asked of me, don't I do stuff? You wanted donations? Didn't I come? I didn't come give donations this year because when it was time for you to do stuff for me, you acted stupid. So I acted like, right. I ignored you like you ignored me. Facts on facts on facts. Right. See, you can't act funny in front of nobody at your church because you just can't. You know I ain't going to let you do that. You can't try to front on me either. See, your frat brothers Probably would have told you, probably lied to your frat brothers, but now your frat brothers know the truth. They didn't have to know the truth. All you had to do was open your mouth and talk. You're always acting like the cat has your tongue, or when you're supposed to show up, right? So see, you did that to yourself. Close. Mm-mm. What happened the last time you supposed to show up? Didn't you not show up and play ring around? So I gave you a ring around. The only difference about me giving you the ring around was you was here on Sunday. Pay attention. You was in your pulpit on Sunday. I wasn't at your church. I hit the join button. Okay, whatever. You don't want me to come to your church? Okay, whatever. But isn't it that you still need me? You do. So you should act like you do and stop acting silly. Stop acting like a teenager. You still need my help. I have the book right here. Don't worry. I'm going to send it to whoever. I might Zoom call you. I don't play them type games. No. See, you act goofy, and I don't do goofy. No, I don't. I'll make sure you get your book. It's going to be empty. Why is it going to be empty? Because you're not mature enough to talk. I don't talk to people who don't talk back to me. At all. You got everything to say to a bunch of people who don't say anything to you about ministry. They tell you to ignore me, the person whose stuff you're using. That don't make a bit of sense. When none of the people around you can write in an idea. And if they can write an idea, that's not whose ideas you're using. It's not. But I thought this was going to be a light. Right. Wasn't it true? Isn't it true that over the last, from May to now, you've just been playing games and hoping that we don't make up? That's you that did that. Because you just wanted more time to chase men, chase women, whatever. I ain't going to wait on you forever for you to play games. You either want to make up or you don't. You don't, leave me alone. I don't have time for your foolishness. You act like a teenager. Ain't nobody chasing you. Right, I have the right to ask what I asked you for. You smeared in my face what you've done for other people. Like you like to keep me crushed. But if I crushed you, though, see, I gave you back some of your crushing so that you could see what it felt like. Because I don't deserve the way you've treated me. You've been really nasty. But see, if I turn around and be really nasty to you on my page, it would be she's being vindictive. But what were you doing over the last 10 years? Throwing me out of every place? Every place? You even just did it when I lived on Kingston Street, how you had me locked out of there. Was that funny? See, you laughed at it. And I still didn't say anything about you, but you kept on until you had ghetto. Right. You get other people to do your work and they become a casualty of war. That his character got assassinated because he got into a war that he didn't know anything about. The war between me and you, I'm talking about. That's been going on for 10 years. King Roman, the same thing. Fight your own battles. Stop allowing people to get into a war in which they will get their feelings hurt, because you already know how I operate. You allowed Ghetto to get into a battle knowing what he was, what role he played in your life, when you should have never let Ghetto say anything. You knew, first of all, you played yourself with that one. Ghetto shouldn't have said anything to me at all. I tried to shield Ellen from that, because I didn't say anything from the beginning when Ghetto was saying stuff. I ain't really want to hurt your wife with that. But you kept on playing with me, and that's why I just went in here and let everybody know that Ghetto was your lover. Because you kept on playing me. Right. Being disrespectful to me. I don't owe you that. See, and I don't have to protect Ellen. She can protect her own feelings. She was right there when Ghetto was there, so what? I don't owe you to protect you. You shouldn't have never had Ghetto say anything to me at all, period. Anything you want. I don't know Ghetto personally. I've seen you, talk to you, been in your church, shook your hand. But you had somebody online, right, because you want to hide. So the people at your church should not be mad at me for 10 whole years. 10. Sometimes you've seen me out in the rain. Did you drive by and laugh at that? Me not having a place to go? See, you want to be mad at the world, you should be mad at yourself. Some of the things you've done is traceable. That's not what I've done. Now, like I said, if you want to make amends, that's fine. If you don't, you want to keep on fighting until that'll be your business. It would have been easier for us just to make up, but see, that would have been too much like right. You have to try to prove that you can flex. You can never flex on me. I'm not, you can't flex on me. There are no rings on my finger. The only flex around here is me flexing on you. And your sorority brothers finding out that your life is, you're not flexing on me at all. I'm not associated to a rainbow marriage. I've never been married. There's no county records of me marrying anybody. There's county records of you being married to Ellen. But at the same time, being married to Ellen, right, having sexual affairs with men and women, right. And see, we're not the same. And I don't really care about any of that. Except for the fact that you've disrespected me one too many times and thought that I should take it when I don't have to take it. I don't owe you to be respectful to you. You owe me a lot of respect. You live in a nice house, drive a nice car, got multiple cars. So, today is Thursday. We all know what Thursday is, Alan. At least I do. So here, this is how this is going. Pay attention to how I say this. I want to make amends with you. That doesn't mean I want to come back to your church. That's not what that means. The reason why I don't no longer want to work in ministry with you is you're not capable of doing that. I don't need somebody who moves with who chases every skirt and chases every pants. That's you. That's, community pain. I don't need that. I need somebody that's able to stay focused, and that's not you. You've not been that. From the time I've met you, you've been immature. No, I don't want to work with you at all. See, you look mature, but you're not. Anytime you could not show up at Bible study because you have to go have sex with somebody, you're not mature. You weren't mature enough to say, let me do Bible study, and then after, no, you did it when you were supposed to be teaching. You're not mature. We're not the same. Right. So when you mature, when you grow up, right, I don't want to do any type of ministry with you at all because you play too much. And I told you that when I first met you, and here it is, I'm still telling you that. We're not the same. Your sexual affairs mean more than a relationship with God, because if it did not, you would have prioritized when I walked in your church back in May. But no, you had to flex for the man in the choir. He meant more. How could he mean more to you when you did? He didn't help you get, I don't care what he had, what he was doing. He didn't help you get, no, you seen me walk there. You should have been like, you didn't have enough fortitude or wherewithal. You were so busy worrying about what Ellen would say when you're the pastor. You don't think for yourself. See, you place yourself in them positions because you let other people tell you how to think. And when it gets catastrophic, you're the one that's holding the bag. Your deacons, your associate ministers, they're not holding the bag. They're not embarrassed right now. You're the one that's embarrassed because of the stuff that you've done. They can sit back and laugh at you. Why? Because you didn't have the common sense to say, let me talk to her. That's your fault. I was right there. Right. In May. You want me to post an email of me just trying to join your church and your brother-in-law playing games? See, that's what you did, and that's what equated me to dropping tea about you. Because we either talk behind the scenes or I talk in front of the scenes and tell everybody how you really are. A person that uses their money and their power to manipulate and crush people. That's how you really are. And you've been allowed to do that, and you can keep doing that. Just don't include me in that. Because you don't really help people. You tell people that you do. But you use them, and when you get finished using them, you toss them out like trash. The man in the choir will find out momentarily. And so will all those other people around you who don't get it. I already know that. Didn't you just do that to me? You did. Right. See, pay attention. If you have somebody that's faithful, they're worthy of you saving. But that wasn't good enough for you. If you have somebody that helped you get where you are, you didn't get there, but Ellen, Ellen lives in my stuff. I don't live in hers. She lives in the fact that helped you grow your church. She didn't. You're just married to her. It's the reason why I said it like that. I'm the person. See, run to your fraternity and tell them lies that Ellen didn't so that I can blast you about those ministries that you started doing after you got my book, not before. You became the great genius after my book, not before. The men's retreat, the women's retreat, the studies, all that stuff after, not before. Ellen's human trafficking, and yes, those are her ideas, but all of the other stuff are my stuff. Even down to the young April, right? My stuff, not yours. Children's Bible study, my stuff that was in my book. Children's Bible study, there had not been a church that was doing that in the 90s. I wrote that. I hit all 4 points: man, woman, boy, and girl. That's exactly how I hit it in my book. Man, woman, boy, and girl. Husband, wife, and children. That's how I hit it in my book. Because that is the order of the church. Husband, wife, and children. So you see, we know that you ain't right about it because you don't live it. Husband is the head, wife is the neck. They don't see anybody that would think that you wrote that and you don't live that. I know they blind. How could you write about something that you don't live? You don't live that you're the head. You write that you're the head, but you're not. Ellen is the head and you're the neck. She runs you, you don't run her. You never have told her what to do. And when you do, she backs you down and emasculates you. So that's why anybody that knows truth knows that you couldn't have wrote about no blended family ministry or nothing else, because all that stuff in there, I hit all 4 points. You don't live that. Your wife told you, let me come back so you can steal the rest of my stuff. And you went right with her. Like this time. No, she ain't tell you this time to let me come back. This time she ain't want me to come back because she thought it was something else. And it has never been anything else but an idea to share and for me to make money. But you're selfish. You keep allowing her to tell you not to pay me. Now, see, watch this. What was an asset has become a liability because of your selfishness. You have allowed Ellen to tell you not to pay me, and you have allowed me to become a liability to you when I really wanted to be an asset. Well, I was already that, but that's your fault. See, because you thought you should just give everything to Ellen, don't give anything to Catherine. Ellen didn't help you. The only idea she had is steal her stuff and don't pay her. That was your wife's idea, and you went with it. That was your deacon's ideas, and you went with it. See, your common sense didn't tell you, that's your fault. That's not my fault. I don't owe you to be respected. I don't owe you any of that. Seriously, I don't. And I'm going to end this because it's 12:20. And my reach out will be momentarily. See, I'm going to hit 3 different people. And the reason why I'm going to do it with 3 different people is because you always say I didn't get in contact with you. And I have to do it that way so that you can stop lying. No, let me just put it out there. Let me just say this. Sir Pastor Waller, no, I don't really want to expose your business and make you embarrassed. Because, see, if I wanted to expose your business, the last thing I know about you, I'd already said it. So can't none of your friends, foes, or whatever say no, I don't. It's real easy to say that. I don't got to say that. I could just leave you alone. And then let you wonder why I won't help you. I can't trust you. You can't be trusted. You want me to help you and you can't be trusted. What you're asking is monumental. Pay attention to what I'm telling you, sir. What you're asking is monumental. Look at the task at hand. It is monumental. How can I trust you with a task like that? If you ditch me in the task, I'll be done. Pay attention. I can't do E9 North by myself. I have to ditch you. Pay attention to what I'm saying. You can read between the lines. I can't do E9 North by myself. Read between the lines of what I'm saying. You understand. If I did E9 North by myself, what would happen? Oh, that's right. You're not slow. You got it. You got a whole book over there, and I explained it. But here we are still talking about it. Yeah, you're not with it. See, that's why I don't want to do any monumental task with you, because you can't be trusted. Because if you abandon me, listen to the words, sir. If you abandon me, because Ellen said so, you can't be trusted. You do everything that she says. You can't be trusted. I can't afford to do a ministry with you and your wife snaps her finger and you run back. No, we're not playing that type of game. You're not mature. You do everything she tells you when she can't stop telling herself to snort coke, but you want me to. No, you're not mature enough. See, a mature man would have said, hey, you messed up our stuff in 2016. Let me not listen to you. Here we are in 2026 and you're still listening to a person that's high off coke. Where's your discernment? No, my discernment tells me not to trust you because you keep listening to her. And that's why we're right here right now. I can't afford to do something like a ministry and she says abandon the idea and you abandon ship. No, that's not funny. See how God works in mysterious ways. He stopped that right before it started. You ain't even catch that. Stopped it right before it started. I have a book to prove it. It says E9 North, Brewery Town, North Philly, and Strawberry Mansion. Gave you the location. You're not mature. See, sometimes God allows you to be rejected as protection. Sometimes God allows me to be rejected for protection. He was protecting me from the fact that you're not mature. You can't start something that monumental and just abandon me in that. You can't be trusted. Listen to the words I'm using, Alan. You can't be. You're not mature enough, because a real man wouldn't just let his wife walk all over him. You're talking about going into a bank, signing papers and doing things, and then your wife say, snap, don't do it, and you will walk out. I can't do that. I would abandon you, not you abandon me. See the difference? I will leave you alone because you're not mature, and I don't have time for dumb stuff. I've been telling you that for 10 years, and for 10 years, you've been running after somebody that's been making a fool out of you. Continue to chase her, but I don't got time for that dumb stuff. Ellen ain't serious about ministry, and neither are you. And you're allowed to be, but I can't be playing with y'all like that. Because this ain't funny. Once you start talking about opening up a third location and all the stuff, you're not prepared for that. You're not mature enough for that. You barely make it with the 2 ministries that you got. To take on a third one, no. I don't have time for folk that can't think for themselves. Everybody else tells you what to think, like your brain don't work. You what everybody else thinks. You actually say stuff about me that's not true. You say stuff about me that's not true. But if I said something about you that's not true, I would be a vindictive person. But you say stuff about me that's not true. But yet and still, when I get on my YouTube page, right? So I'm not going to entertain you at E9 North. I might put it up there so everybody can see it, but definitely not entertain you. Because I don't have the time to pull out something that monumental to do. And then you just don't do the project because your wife said so. That's goofy. Like, your wife actually wants to keep using my stuff and benefit. No, chick, you wrong. You ain't going to keep using my stuff and you benefited off of it and I don't get paid. No, baby, it ain't working like that. E9 North might not come into fruition because you're blocking it, and that's fine. I don't care. But I'm definitely not going to allow you to keep riding around in BMWs and Lexus, Teslas, Hummers, and all of that. After y'all church grew after my stuff, financial compensation must happen. And that's why I embarrassed you on here. Because you're selfish. There won't be a third location because you're not mature with the 2 that you have here in Philadelphia and the other things that you have that are attributed directly to me. You're too selfish. I won't do it. See, I don't owe you to help you get a third location. When the 2 that you already have, you don't recognize me. You're trying to act stupid over there. At West and at East. Be telling people that I'm going to hurt you. You sound goofy. I'm going to hurt the person that I helped get up. Yeah, you better tell them lies to other people. I helped you get up, not Ellen. Ellen just stood beside you and is basking in it. But I am the person, not Ellen. Not Ellen. See, tell your frat brothers over there that. The real person that helped you get to where you are, oh, you left her down in the what? Say it real loud. Without anything for a woman named Ellen, because Ellen said don't help her. I don't think nobody listened to that story, whether they go to church or not, will laugh at that. But you would. You have. Tell your frat brothers that. Right. Your wife, who you worship so much, she told you the wrong thing. And you continued on with it, and then you tried to justify it. There's no justification with that corny ass Bible story that you gave on Sunday about the fish and the 5 loaves of bread. You see, and then you talk about why you didn't get to be your father's successor. Alan, please don't make me embarrass you as to why they really didn't call you. They didn't really call you because the stuff you say be corny. Nobody, no. People want the word. They don't need it watered down, twisted. Just preach. Stop with that corny stuff that you be talking, because it be corny. See, and ain't nobody gonna tell you. It be corny because that was corny Sunday. See, you don't stand up and be a man. See, you know how to pay bills. You have male genitalia, but you're a male, not a man. See, and the reason why I said that to you is because a man sees a woman struggling. Listen to my story. This is the last time I'm going to tell it. A man sees a woman struggling and he helps her. He does not crush her. You crush women so that you could be the hero. And that's not what a man does. That's what a gay man does. That's not what a man does. A real man helps a woman. That's not you. You crush women. Or did you forget that woman that you crushed so she could lose her freedom so you could do what? You crush women so that you could take advantage of them. I am one of the women that you've been crushing for more than 10 years. It's only been 10 years since I've been in your church, but you've been crushing me for a while. So, yeah. See, you crush women. You crush men too, but you make a spectacle out of the women. I don't know why you hate women so much. I've not, listen, if it's because of what your wife did, well, your marriage ain't never really been on life support. See, because it ain't never really been. Because you can't really have sexual affairs with men and women, and she can't really have sexual affairs with women and then think y'all marriage is going to work. There's no trust there. It's just a rainbow. It's just a rain. You all are a part of the community, and you're trying to say that you're not. And you are, and you've been. And that's why your marriage don't work. It's because there's no honesty, trust, or anything there. She's just there to appear to be your wife. Not really. And that's why she walks all over you and treats you like trash. Because she don't really want to be there. She would rather be on the other side of the door with her girlfriends. Girlfriends. Right. So, and I don't really care about any of that. But don't try to make it seem, if you, see, pay attention. When you stood up and you lied and told that story on Sunday, I ain't even say nothing when you said it. Talking about they ain't called you because you were young. No, they ain't called you because your life wasn't right. And they knew that you wasn't right. It didn't have nothing to do with you young, Alan. They would have passed your father's church on to you. You were same gender loving and you were married, and they didn't want that. Right, tell the truth. You were same gender loving and married, and they did not want that, because then you would have been doing the same thing at your father's church that you're doing here. They didn't want that. Thus, that's why they didn't call you. Don't lie about why they didn't call you. They knew that you're right. See, you wanted to tell the story on Sunday, and that wasn't true. Because had it would have been that you were a straight man with a wife, you'd have got called. They didn't want the fact that you hide that and didn't act. They didn't want that facetious stuff over there. You tried to make it seem like they just didn't call you. That is not why they didn't call you. They knew exactly what was going on, and they'd rather just not deal with you, although you were your father's son. They just let you go like you let a bird go and didn't care about it. You tried to make it seem like, no. You would have been the first pick. But you messed it up because you wanted to chase men and been married. You messed that up. Don't try to twist that story up. Tell folks the truth. You could have been the pastor of your daddy's church had you not would have had been messing with the men and the women. They didn't want that over there. They just let you go. Whatever. So then you came to Enon to do the same thing. That's your business. But don't lie about them folks where you grew up at. Because, right, see, you weren't able to do it there, so you came to Philadelphia to do it. That's your business. See, right. Most people don't want that. They want somebody that's genuine. You don't have to be genuine. You can come out of the closet and be the gay man that you want to pretend to be straight. Can't be both. Having sex with men and married to a woman, make your mind up. One or the other. Having sex with men or married to a woman. Right. That's right. And then you wonder why they didn't call you. Nobody wants that. That causes confusion and chaos. Look at where you are now with all this chaos around your lifestyle and hers. So they wanted that in their church? Of course not. You were younger then, you're older now. So now you've had a chance to really take advantage of people. And then stand up in church on Sunday and say, they ain't called me because I was young. No, they didn't call you because they knew what it was. And rather than embarrass you, they just told you no. You didn't read between the lines on that. When I caught it, when you said it, the people that you were preaching to didn't catch it. It was easily caught. You would have been the favorite pick. Of course you would have. But why call you and you're going to bring chaos and drama to their church and probably destroy their church that right. So it's just easy to let you go. See, because you're causing chaos and drama in your own church now. Right. That's not me that's doing that. That's you that's doing that. You and your wife with the choices that y'all make. That's not how God's church is supposed to go. People come to church to be spiritually fed, not for their pastor and their first lady to do the type of things that y'all do. Repent. You can't tell other people that they need to repent when you need to get down in the water. You need to have somebody to baptize you all over again. Wash me again. Take me back, Andre said, to the place where I first believed. You need to jump up in that water and have somebody that's anointed baptize you for the stuff that you've done. I can't say that for Ellen. Because Ellen ain't the leader of the flock. You keep saying that you are. Your name is on there. You can't tell God, see, it's my wife. Now you sound like Adam. See, God, what had happened was Ellen told me, right, you can't talk to God like that. See, you're being held accountable because you never stand up for what wrong stuff you do. Everybody else around you is wrong but you. Everybody else around you need to repent to God. Everybody else but not you. Where do they do that at? Talking about accountability, responsibility, entitlement. You need to jump down in the baptismal pool. Right. Okay. Everybody else around you need to repent. But see, you're the person that's preaching about going to heaven when, truthfully speaking, if you don't get your life right, you won't be going to heaven. You'll be preaching about a place that you won't be going. Or do you even believe in heaven? Or is that just a figment of our imagination? Because it can't be that it's real. Not with the way you act. You act like you're going to miss heaven like you miss a train. But you will miss heaven if you keep playing with God like he's a toy. You will miss heaven if you don't believe the Bible that you preach. You will miss heaven if there is no salvation. How can you be a pastor for 30-something years and only be anointed for 2 of the 30? Like Saul was, king for 40 years and only anointed 2. And that sounds just like you. How can you be a pastor over there and just doing all that mischievous stuff, and then as soon as somebody calls you and you want to point out somebody else's flaws? No, you are the person that's abusing your authority and have been and been allowed to. And I don't care who over there at your church don't like what I'm talking about. I really don't care. From the top to the bottom, you've been allowed to do that too long, and enough is enough. You need to cut it out. Jump down in that water that you're baptizing other people in and tell God that you're sorry. Because otherwise you ain't going to heaven. Not with all the crooked stuff that you and your wife have done to people. What was his name? Richard Ross, the former police commissioner. You used him. Right. See, put people in positions to do what? Didn't I get evicted while he was a police commissioner? Right. And then the next spot. Right. That was you that was doing that. See, pay attention. All the while the police commissioner, that was you that was doing all that stuff. Next place. Right. Was 2700. Didn't you have me locked out of 2700? You did. See, for me to give out every address I could if I wanted to, I could name every place over the last 10 years that you had me kicked out of and told me to start over. But see, now that I'm on here telling about your life, it ain't so funny, right? See, because the people that's around you don't really know that all that stuff really happened. But people that's listening, go look up Catherine S. Powell, 138 West Logan Street, apartment 3, Philadelphia, PA, 19144. Go look it up. And then come back and tell me who the liar is. I took them to court. Pastor Waller had me locked out, kicked out. I took them to court. Did I win? They didn't show up. It's called a cleanup. They didn't show up. So see, right. He's constantly cleaning up the messes that he does with me and probably other people too. And oh, Alan, this is for you. This is for you before I close it. You would have had a son now if you stopped flushing them down the toilet. You know, abortions. See, you can't have a ministry for people that have abortions to try to make them feel better. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Let me say it one more time. You can't have a ministry for abortion when the Bible says thou shalt not kill. You might not, right? That's because you believe in flushing babies down. How many have you flushed? How many children have you had, women who you sleep with, get rid of? So you don't have to take it. See, don't make me tell all of your business up on here. Don't make me really embarrass your wife. Don't make me really tell it. See, because I don't do things like put that type of ministry in my church or talk about putting that ministry should never be in a church. Thou shalt not kill. Isn't that a commandment? Go read it. It is. That means thou shalt not kill means that you shouldn't get somebody pregnant and then tell them to go get an abortion. Do you want me to? You embarrass you on here. I don't do things like that. You do. And you've done the most egregious things to me, stood back and laughed at it, and then for the whole time I stood back and took it. Right. I ain't called none of them ladies' names. I called your name for a reason. Right. See, David had a slingshot. Pay attention, Alan. He needed a slingshot. He doesn't have the internet. He didn't have the internet, excuse me. David had a slingshot. What do I have? I have the internet. So the internet reaches thousands. When David slew Goliath, it took a while before the town found out. And ain't gonna take a while for people to find out about you, though. Boop, live. Right. See, it was funny when you was doing all that stuff. Just remember that. And the part of the other story that I ain't gonna tell, that other pastor who I referred you to, in reference to, there's a reason why I didn't call his name, because I really don't want to destroy your reputation. But don't do things, Alan, that's going to be traced back to you. Don't call universities and tell them to send you a male student for the summer. Don't do stuff that's going to be traced back to you. Because when you do stuff that will be traced back to you, there will be... So you didn't have males, you didn't bring males here, a different male lover. That's what you was doing that stuff. See, don't do stuff that can be traced back to you. And then don't want to be compared to George Bloomer. What are you talking about? You were doing that stuff at your church. That wasn't me. That was me watching you do that stuff. That was you talking about, right, certain things you said in the pulpit. And I ain't never say that you stood there talking about, no, that was T.D. Jakes that said that corny stuff. Some stuff you say, either you're not aware of it or you say it purposely. I don't know. But I know, listen, you're same gender loving, whatever. You couldn't never really hide the fact that you're same gender loving if you're calling the university, telling them to send you a student every summer. You put yourself in that predicament. The situation with Mark Hill, you put yourself in your predicament. Your wife works there. Why would you? That's you that be trying to spite her in the face. Why mess with somebody that's at her job, and then the person got fired? That's you that do that. It don't be other people. It's just now that I'm calling you out on it. See, you can't say Catherine of anything, because when I really tried to talk to you behind the scenes, you tried to tell people that I was going to physically harm you, and then you took it a step further with my sister. I'm gonna try to harm somebody who already got a tube down their throat, who already was getting kidney dialysis 24 hours a day, whose liver, whose body is just messed up. You sound goofy in saying that. There's nothing more to do to somebody who's right. But that's the lie you told. Ain't that the lie you told about me and my sister sick as a dog? See, that's what you told. Can't mess with somebody that's already sick. You said some of the most horrible stuff about me with my sister. But yet and still, if I got on here and told how you be doing stuff, we move different. Don't try to tear down my character because you've done stuff and put it out right out there in the front. Put your lovers on the church's payroll. That's the dumb stuff you did. Normal people hide that stuff. You put it right on the payroll in front of your wife. Bring your mistress right there in front. That's stuff you do. Because you be trying to be bold. But bold ain't bold when it gets called out and then it's true. Lady Ellen has the same name as your wife. That's not me being smart. That's you not being smart. That lady ain't worked in years. How would she be going to Martha's Vineyard? What, off a Social Security check? No, no, no. Nobody would be going to Martha's Vineyard off the... Right. So, see, you played yourself with that one. You tried to smear that in my face. You didn't smear that in my face. Somebody that's almost 80 and that's what you want, have her. Take her with you. When you go on your next vacation, take her close by so when the Ellen goes away to a beach, lady, the other Ellen will be not close. Take her with you, right? You don't want me to really tell that story, right? Cause wasn't she up there at that hotel? Want me to tell the story? Didn't you go to do a that lady's appreciation about a year or two ago, and wasn't Lady Ellen there? And your wife wasn't. Because who else was there? Right. See, don't make me embarrass you on here about Lady Ellen. Go in places when Ellen be home. See, you probably pick fights with Ellen so she don't show up, so that Lady Ellen can show up. See, she doesn't catch on. She doesn't really know that Lady Ellen be at those places. I know because I was there. Because I knew the people. Didn't I know the people? Wasn't that a year or two ago? Or 3, whatever it was? Lady Ellen was there. R.T. Jones was there. Carlton Aiken was there. There's a lot of people there. Your wife wasn't there. Lady Ellen was there. She was. I was there too, though. But I know the people. See, you play those games and your wife doesn't get it. You probably pick fights with her because you don't want her to show up. So that Lady Ellen, who's prettier, can show up and you could douse her all around the building and all. Right. Because that's who you really want. See, you want to be married to Ellen, but then show off Lady Ellen because you think she a doll. See, and I've been one too many places where she is, you is, right. Because those are games that you've been playing with your wife for over 20 years. She's never really caught on to it. Never really paid attention to it. Probably now that I'm saying it. But that's her embarrassment because Lady Ellen goes to the church. And if she hasn't been there, it's because she probably can't get a ride. But she definitely goes to the church, hasn't she? Been a member since y'all was over there on Culture Street. You know, when she slipped and fell on that ice. And see, she would have did better suing the church than you becoming her boyfriend. She ain't even... I told you she wasn't smart. I would have sued the church. I wouldn't have went with the pastor for what? I would have sued the church. No, but she thought it was a flex to go with the pastor as opposed to sue the church. She would have got more money if she'd have sued the church. Right. Sued the church. Isn't that how that happened? Right. She shows up places where you are, where your wife ain't, because she's Ellen too. The original Ellen. See, Ellen, Ellen, and your wife spell hers Y-N. Right. You are enthralled with Ellen. You are. See, because it didn't matter if she came to your church. A normal person would have said, I'm not going to mess with her because later on when it comes out, it's going to look like I couldn't let Ellen go, so I got to... That's what it looks like. She actually goes places with you or shows up there, however it goes. And she's Ellen too. It looks creepy. I'm sorry, it does. It does. See, right. Picks fights with wife Ellen so that Lady Ellen can show up dressed up all pretty while other wife is home mad, right? Because he don't care. Or picks fights with wife so wife don't show up on a Sunday morning. Either or. And Lady Ellen might be downstairs, upstairs, whatever, looking all pretty. Just drooling over somebody that just wants to use you. Goofy. You've been used for the last, what, 20 plus years since she had that fall on that ice over there? And you really, cream, you just don't get it. Like, I'm laughing at you because you think that you're doing something and you're not. She fell on the church's sidewalk because y'all didn't shovel it up. So then the appropriate thing to do would have just been to offer her a financial settlement, but not you, Alan. You had to try to be that lady's boyfriend and ain't never let her go. And you know that when I saw her, I was like, oh, so this the game you play. Make your wife mad so that Lady Ellen can show up dressed up all pretty and you can just ooh, ah, and Google at her like she's some doll somewhere, like a living doll. If you'd have met her first, you'd have married her first. If you'd have met her first, you'd have married her first, because otherwise wouldn't no man do that with their wife and mistress. Same name, and it doesn't matter if she came to the church. You didn't have to entertain her. She probably did just walk in your church, but you still didn't have to entertain her. And the fact that you're still entertaining her, still sending her on trips, proves what I'm saying. It don't prove anything. Ellen wasn't at that thing a couple years ago. She might have been at your graduation. See, Lady Ellen can't come to things like that. So then what you do is your wife will show up to those things, but then other things you'll pick fights with her. So Lady Ellen, right, just running from Ellen to Ellen. Creepy, because that's not normal. Most men that I know cheat. Their wives and mistresses have different names, but not you. You are special. Not because your last name is and Y in either. You're special because your wife and your mistress have the same name. Ellen. Right. See, was it that you wouldn't be able to remember another name, or you was just so enthralled? I don't really know. I don't really care. That's your creepiness. And see, I saw it firsthand. Right. See, I ain't in competition with Lady Ellen. Don't ever get it twisted. You got the game all chopped up. See, you keep doing stuff for her and try to smear it in my face, and that's why I keep telling you, you're not smearing Lady Ellen in my face. She's almost 80. Her body is done, worn out, washed out, stretched out. You're not smearing her in my face. You're not. Believe that you're not. Facts that you're not. She has kids, grandkids. She has kids and grandkids. She has kids around your age. Seriously. Right. She's almost 80, which means her oldest daughter is probably in her late 50s, right? So you are like a child to her for real, for real. But you're still just running after her, and you're allowed to do that. Because I've seen it firsthand. So you can't ever lie. I was right there at that banquet a couple of years ago. That lady at 17th and Allegheny was retiring, and you were up there along with R.T. Jones, Carlton Aiken, and a couple of other people that were there. Right. See, no one ever picked up on the fact that Lady Ellen always pops up where you are. Either they don't see her or they don't know. See, I know because I know those folks. Your church don't get it. I got it. How could you dress your mistress better than your wife, right? Because that's who you really want to be with. And that's why you always smear her in my face and then tell me I'm jealous. Jealous of somebody that, well, then here's the whole thing, right? You want me to send a book to Lady Ellen's house, right where she lives at in Germantown? And then she could tell you, she could write the ideas for you. Since you think so much of her, tell Lady Ellen to write your next set of ideas. Since you think so much of her, since you sent her to Martha's Vineyard a couple years ago, she just had a birthday. You ain't get me nothing for mine. Right, don't worry. You ain't get me nothing for mine. You made sure you bent over backward for hers. Watch. See, that's why I'm on here embarrassing you. Because you think more of an old harlot than you do me. And if she really could do anything for you, I'll give her the book. Let her write all the ideas. But she an empty-headed chicken, she can't. I'll send her the book. Let Lady Ellen write the ideas. I bet you won't have none. She ain't got none. She's good at having sex with men for money. That's been her whole life. Hasn't it been? Because it has been. She's always had sex with men for money.